welcome to Talking Small Press Comics with Steve Keeter and me, Larned Justin.
I got it right. That's the first time I got it right.
Yeah, you got it right. Pointing in the right direction. Yeah. Now, this is a very important episode because this is episode 60. 60. Yeah, so we are celebrating with cigars. You have a cigar there already?
I got a cigar right here.
We got cigars. We're celebrating with cigars for our 60th episode. How about that?
Congratulations to us.
Yes.
And we want to thank everyone who tuned into our last episode, the interview with Steve Willis. Wow. We had a great time with that. Steve Willis was fantastic with his answers. And, you know, we got over 300 views, well over 300 views.
Which, for a niche like we're in with small press comics, we think that's pretty good.
Yeah. So thank you so much for tuning in. And I just want to say, Steve Willis is here today. He's going to join the show because, you know, he's very important to us, and he was flattered, and we were flattered to have him. And here he is, Steve Willis. Let me go get him here just a second.
Yeah, okay. Oh, there he is.
Hi, Steve. I'm Steve Willis.
Oh, okay. We're excited to have you here on the show in person.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
You might look the same as you did in our episode 59.
Well, I was inspired. I was inspired by you guys, and I knew that, you know, I just, you know, I wanted to look more like Steve Keeter. So I changed my appearance just for the show, and I got a cigar.
Well, let me tell you, you don't look anything like Steve Keeter. I know Steve Keeter when I see him, and you don't look anything like him. So,
yeah, I mean, that would be frightening. Who'd want to look like that anyway, right?
Well, a lot of people have said that.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to. Let me see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I don't really look. I don't really look. You know what? I'm not really Steve Willis. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shock you people, but.
No kidding.
No, a little joke there.
Really?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
It's sometimes the derangement is contagious, and I'm not saying Steve Willis is deranged. Certainly he's not. He's very intelligent, but he makes comics about people who are rather deranged. I think sometimes.
Yeah,
and you know, anyway, we want to say we're back with another show.
Yeah,
and we're not forgetting Steve Willis, because since the last show, we've received 2 new comics from Steve Willis, and we're going to talk about those at the end of the show. We always save the best for last.
We save Steve Willis to the end of the show, so you have to stay tuned to see his latest cranium frenzies. All right, let's get started. We don't want to keep hold everybody up. We got a lot of comics.
Definitely not. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff here.
Yeah. So which one you want to do first?
Well, I mean, the return of the great Chuck Bunker, who was a mighty force in the 80s and early 90s. Chuck Bunker is back with The Pie Man.
This is The Pie Man by Chuck Bunker.
Yeah, and you know,
and The Pie Man is actually a superhero, believe it or not.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, the comic begins. You get a look at Chuck Bunker. Most of us haven't seen him for several decades. Well, there he is.
Yeah.
Chuck is back. He's living in a retirement home now. Jeff Wood helped with this issue. He helped with the computer lettering. And look at Jeff.
Yeah, that's Jeff Wood. He has a combat vest on, which is, you know, most cartoonists should wear them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, the red becomes him. I mean, it's good. But that's Jeff Wood, a friend of us all. He did Snow Bunny, and we've known him for a long time. But he helped.
He helped out with this issue. He did the lettering and the plot. He did the plot, too. And then Chuck Bunker did the art and story. So there you go.
So Chuck is back. First book in a long time. We want to celebrate that. Oh, yeah, the cigars.
Yeah. Don't light the book on fire. Oh, that would be a mistake. Yeah.
Chuck is back. Hard to talk with this in your mouth, right? But Chuck is back, and we're darn glad to see him. And yeah, I mean, he just popped up out of nowhere. I started hearing from him several months ago, and the next thing you know, he was in touch with Jeff. They were planning a new book, and he's doing work for me. He had something in my recent number 10.
Really?
Things in there.
Oh, cool.
So he appeared there. He's going to be in Mantra number 13, a book I'm publishing in February. So he's publishing his own comics. And the Pie Man is a guy who runs the
there's a bakery here, and a lady comes into the bakery, and she is really something.
She's pretty savage. That's Martha.
Yeah. She starts right in on the poor baker.
Martha Marbles.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at her.
She thinks he's putting kids ahead of her in line.
Yeah, because
not doing that, but that's what she thinks.
You put these so-and-so kids first. We adults have to wait a dog's age. That's discrimination based on
discrimination,
age.
She calls
it. So she keeps yelling at him, and the Pie Man, he's the happy Pie Man, so he keeps smiling. And,
but he's the baker. He's not the Pie Man, is he? Or does he turn into the Pie Man?
No, well, good question.
I'm not clear on that.
He's not the pie. Okay, he's the happy baker.
The Pie Man. The Pie
he's
Man.
The happy baker, but he makes pies. And she is. I mean, he calls her a Karen. You know.
No, wait a minute. He slips into a room and becomes the Pie Man. Right there.
He does. In answer to her savagery, I want to speak to the manager. He says, I am the manager, my dear lady. He's really nice, but he can only take so much. And so he does. The happy baker finally lets his anger out. Darn that biatch, biatch, biatch. That's the censored version, folks. He does become the Pie Man.
He is the Pie Man.
Yep. And has to deal with her.
The story goes on. No sense giving it all away, but the story goes on.
No.
And let me see here. I think I have a page count on this one.
Yeah.
This is 9 pages plus a cover and a back cover.
Yeah. Let me see something. The Karen.
Volume 2 of the Pie Man and issue number 1 of volume 2.
Yeah. And Martha Marbles, she works for Gestapo or Gestapo Incorporated.
Yeah, right. That's a big company.
She's so mean that the license tag in front has an expletive.
Yeah.
That you
see that? Yeah.
Yeah. There's an expletive there with a bunch of exclamation marks at the end. This is a mean woman. Yeah. I mean, she even has fangs. I mean, look, she has like fangs coming up.
She does.
So.
You're right. But here is the factory, the Gestapo.
Yeah. So it's like Gestapo company. So she's.
Gestapo.
But the Pie Man has enough. So he knocks on her door.
Yeah.
And he answers, and he's like, "Here's Johnny," and he starts throwing pies at her. Where are we at? This is a shoe fly pie, so it's like a shoe.
Yeah.
And whacks her with a shoe. I guess it's a shoe that has like cream on it or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's she didn't take it well. Why you So. Yeah, and it goes on. So there's a confrontation here. This is the exciting part of the issue, folks. This is the most exciting part of the issue.
Are you going to give it away? The most exciting
No, I'm not going to give everything away.
Oh, okay.
She does have pea soup and pie soap. Pea soup and pie soap. And you can see she has soap in her mouth.
Yeah, well, she needed it.
Where's my finger? There it is, right there. Soap in her mouth. So, anyway, she can't take it.
Climax, and
I won't show you the ending, but this is an important panel, okay?
Yeah.
And look at Chuck's artwork. I mean, if you knew Chuck back in the 1980s, and I did, I met him at the Chicago Comic Convention. He's always been a really funny guy, and it's great to see him back. He says the next issue is a Pie Man Christmas. If this is
this one must have come out earlier, because the next one's probably out now because it's a Christmas issue. But this is the one we have.
Else it'll be next Christmas. I will say that the story he's doing for me, for Mantra, is a Valentine's story.
Oh, okay.
The issue of Mantra that's coming out in February is supposed to be a Valentine's issue, if I can get it out on time. I'll be happy if I can get it out before the end of the month, at least. I might not get it out by Valentine's Day, but we'll get it done.
Okay. All right. That's the Pie Man. Okay. What's next?
What's next?
What do you got?
I mean, there's so much stuff here.
Yeah, I'll find mine when you.
This is from.
This is from Dale Martin.
Right, and the Mid-South Cartoonist Organization.
This is their publication. That's right. Dale Martin, of course, has a cartoon in it, but a bunch of other people do, and every one of them is an excellent artist. I mean, this is really nice, really good work. Yeah. Everybody does excellent work in this.
Yeah, Dale and all the other Mid-South. It actually was published in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Kevin Williams. Kevin Williams.
It's like your UFO publications, same kind of thing. But they all have stories in here. There is a theme to it. Shall we play a game? So that's the theme there.
Yeah. I mean, looking at some of the stuff, here's artwork by a guy named Jim Palmer.
Oh, isn't that nice? I saw that. That was very nice.
Super stylish. Super stylish.
Here's Dale, our friend Dale. Watusi, the talking dog, is in full color.
Yep.
You talk about a game, you look on the next page, and he has an entire game here that you can play.
Yeah, did you try playing it?
There's even a flap here. It opens, and it reveals the entire game.
Yeah, and well, I haven't played the game yet, but
no, I haven't played the game either because I'm very busy and don't have time to play games.
It has to deal with landmarks in his town. So you go to certain places. Catch a double feature at the Trident now. If you're on that space, you go to different spaces.
Yeah.
Sail at the Magic Hat. So there must be a place called the Magic Hat there. And on and on. Go view the sunset from Cherry Point Lighthouse now. Where does Dale live? Does he live in Memphis? Let me see.
Yeah, he lives in Memphis. Yes.
He does live in Memphis. Yeah, I used to live in it. When I was a kid, I lived in Memphis.
Oh, well, that's why he's a member of this group, because they have meetings in person. You know, they all come to the meetings.
Oops.
So
I got the
look at this artwork. This is more artwork that's in here by people. It's just really neat. This one is
that particular story,
and it's $3. And
totally worth it. And all kinds of stuff. There's funny stuff. The first one here, Devin Hodges. This will crack you up.
Yeah.
Very cartoony, but it veers from the cartoony to the other story you were showing is the New Extremes. New Extremes by Jason N-E-G-E-N. So Negin. But this is awesome. This is really great.
Yeah, that's neat.
It's got a Santa Claus who's not really a Santa Claus. He's kind of like a cyborg or a robot or something. And you've got a group of heroes, the Extremes, and this is apparently part of a series. So this
it's part 6. Yeah.
And he did include a long introduction on the other side over here. Where am I at? Trying to do this backwards. Yeah, he talks about what has gone before and the characters, and there are a lot of characters, a lot of heroes.
Yeah, so you can see them right here.
There's a group of heroes.
You can see them here.
Yeah, a group of heroes. That's good art that you're showing there too. That's really excellent. But the Extremes, and they're training a younger group of superheroes called the New Extremes. They're going to call it the New Extremes. So they're in the process of training, and there's a lot of action. And again, dealing with you mentioned it's gaming. It's about gaming. They're inside of a game. They're inside of some kind of violent game.
Theme is the games, and they're all doing it. And here's a color page.
Okay.
Very nice. War Games. And War Games is by, let me just look real quick. War Games is by Eric McMeans.
Where'd it go? Let's see.
Eric McMeans. That's who that's by. And that's some cool artwork too.
Eric McMeans, War Games. Yeah. So these guys in the mid-South.
Yeah, they're good.
Are pretty darn excellent cartoonists. There's a lot of them there.
There's a logo.
I didn't have my camera wasn't adjusted right, so I'm still trying to work it out here.
There's their logo on the back since 1987.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been around.
Really nice. Cool.
Very nice.
That's
awesome. Dale stuff is always great.
Dale always pulls out the stops and does a great job.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we at?
And we'll have contact information in the description below for all this. You can order one if you want.
Yep. Here's something that knocked us out.
Oh, yeah.
From Jim Main.
I am a sucker for cowboy stories. I love westerns and all that kind of thing. And this one fills the bill. I'm telling you.
The Adventures of Clay Hitchens.
Clay Hitchens.
By Jim Main and Verl Bond.
Verl Bond does the artwork.
Knockout job on the artwork.
Really cool.
And he really captures the spirit. Both the script and the story really capture the spirit of the Wild West.
And it's it's about a bank robbery. What better storyline than a bank robbery in the Old West? And
continuing the story begun previously with Clay Hitchens, who has become a deputy, and the story of how he came to be what he eventually became, which I can give this away. I don't think it changes. He becomes a bounty hunter.
Right, and toward the end, he's a deputy to start off with, but he does become a bounty hunter later in the story.
Yeah, and there's some great artwork here. The sheriff,
really nice.
Here's the deputy sheriff.
I like this panel. Now look at this panel, and you'll see up on the ridge. There's some people up on the ridge.
Oh yeah.
And if you look in the circle, Verl shows you what the guy looks like up on the ridge. Very clever way of doing that. I thought that was very well done.
Fascinating story, and you have a group of bad guys.
They kind of know these guys. They've been around before.
Yep. And the sheriff is trying to form a posse to go after the bad guys.
Yeah, not many people want to do that because they know who those guys are, and they don't want to tangle with them.
So he does come up with a group of men.
He gets some people. Yeah. There they are.
There they go.
And they're getting ready to go.
Here's to the four horsemen.
Yeah.
They're ready to ride.
Go after them.
Yeah. And, but
it's
darn.
cool. The story is very cool.
Well, the story's great. It's one of the best scripts I've ever read by Jim Maine. I really feel that way. I wouldn't just say that.
Yeah.
So, gosh, I don't want to give anything away because it's so darn good.
I hate to give it away because it's a neat story. We can show you the, what the artwork looks like, but the story, you want to really get this and read it because if you like Westerns at all, I mean, this is perfect. Just perfect.
Yep. I'm trying to find like a really good action page. There's a lot of pages here.
Yeah.
There's some action here.
There's there's kind of a number of twists and turns to this, So, yeah, here's kind of an couple action pages here. You can kind of see what's going on here.
Look at Burl's artwork. I mean, really nice. He's just as great as ever, and really enjoyed this.
And the publication is, the publication itself is just nice looking.
Yeah. That's not, and that's a great story. Oh, that's the back cover.
Yeah, that's the back
cover.
Also
by Burl.
Yeah.
Here we are in the sheriff's office. Who designed that logo? The logo in the front was by Mark Haynes. Mark Haynes and colors by Robert J. Sodaro.
Then there is another story in the back, right here.
From John Lambert.
John Lambert, is that who it is? Okay.
Yes, John Lambert.
Very, very nice artwork back here.
Something that Jim originally intended for an earlier publication, and the Western theme fit right in, so he put it in here. Death's Deal. Here's a guy. He's a card player, and he thinks he can beat just anyone. Nobody can beat him, and he challenges death itself. Nobody can beat him, including death. And he's just talking, right? But death actually shows up, and you can see him there with that demonic smile. Death says, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you can beat me, right? And so let's go for it." You said you could beat Death himself. That's quite a boast to make, one that cannot be ignored. But Death shows up. There he is in all his ghastly significance.
Can't give it away, but
I mean, like, what do you think's going to happen? You challenge Death.
Yeah, right. That's what we're doing by smoking these, challenging.
Oh yeah, we're challenging Death. Yeah. But this one's, it's not lit, but it's just here for show. So I hope you guys are enjoying the show.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of cigars. Well, if you watch my videos on Facebook, I have these cigar smoking videos. I've been trying it out. It's kind of a phase for me. I've been trying it out since somebody sent me some cigars and made some recommendations. Order this, order that. So I've been trying it out. Overall, my almost final conclusion is that sometimes it's enjoyable. Sometimes I start turning green and you're inhaled by accident. So this is something plus it's not good for you.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. I think it's 67 years old. It's something I have to get out of my system.
Yeah. Okay.
But you look darn sophisticated.
Yeah, when you have, I mean, you look important,
Yeah. So I don't think I'm gonna keep it up. The thing is, I've still got a few cigars left, and the question is, well, the thing is, I paid money for these. I don't want to throw them away, and I don't know many people who smoke cigars. So the question: do I smoke them or do I toss them? Yeah. Only time will tell.
Well, you know what we got to do, Steve.
Yeah.
While we're thinking of it, or I'm thinking of it, our friend Larry Blake an excellent cartoonist, is having one heck of a rough time. He's been in the hospital. He's been in a rehab, I believe. And when he went into rehab, he lives on a government pension. But while he was in the rehab, or I think it was a rehab, they cut his pension in half.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I received a letter from Larry.
Right.
About 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah.
A long letter, handwritten. It has an LOC. Let me see. I'm in a different screen now, so I'm not sure what you're seeing.
But anyway, he's in danger of not being able to meet his rent and a number of other things. And our friend Bob Corby, the producer of Space, set up a GoFundMe account for Larry. And you can look it up. It's on Facebook. It's on a number of different places. But if you know Larry, or if you've seen his work or anything, or if you're just a fan of small press cartoonists, here's a guy that could use some help. So
Larry's one of the finest small press
cartoonists. I've met him 2 or 3 times. Very, very nice guy.
Yeah.
Very nice. And I think, if you can, try and help him out.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm on another screen here. I'm trying to look up Bob Corby, and he has that. He has a picture. He sent a picture that had a QR code. Do you have that available or no?
No, I don't.
Where is it?
But I think it'd be easy to find on Facebook. You can go to Bob Corby's Facebook page, and it'll be on there.
Right.
Just type in, Bob Corby or whatever, and go to his page, and it'll be on there. And if you want to help, up to you. But Larry could certainly use the help.
Well, I think I found it.
I'm trying to get him back to drawing comics again, but pretty ill. So
yeah, Larry has been working on Cyclozort. That's his passion. His goal is to complete that, in his lifetime.
Yeah.
So
he's going to try to work on it.
I can't find a page right off the bat.
That's okay. If they go to Facebook and go to Bob Corby's page, they'll find it.
Right. There's a GoFundMe. Or you can just type in Bob Corby or Bob Corby, Larry Blake, or GoFundMe, Bob Corby. But you'll find it.
You'll find it.
Larry, he's been one of my closest friends ever since I got into small press. In the early, maybe 1974, we became acquainted. He did comics with Larry Nybert and Jim Pack, and started doing his own comics. He created Night Star. It used to be Nightshade, but DC threatened to sue him over the name because they had a Nightshade, even though his version was far superior to the DC version. So he changed it to Night Star. But yeah, he's really had a rough year, and he details it in the letter that he sent me. He's been in and out. He was in a, I don't want to, it's his private life, so I don't want to give it away too much.
Yeah,
but he was put in a retirement home.
That's what it was,
And they were like, they were saying like, well, this is where you're going to be from now on. And he's like, no, I have a home somewhere else. And he's not buying it. So Larry is fighting back as hard as he can. And he deserves our support for the friendship, all the great work he's done, all the inspiration he's given us for all these years. I strongly suggest you find that GoFundMe page. And Bob Corby is set up, and do what you can to contribute to help out a brother in small press, a fellow creative talent. And I sent something, but and whatever you can do. Larry is determined to get back to his real home and back to that drawing board.
And I think he will.
Yeah.
So we'll help him out. All right, let's go with, how about this one?
Oh, yeah.
Madame Bugala.
Madame
Bugala. Larry Johnson.
In beautiful full color.
Full color.
slick
The
stock.
whole thing is full color now. We're talking inside and out, full color. Madame Bougla is an interesting character. And the thing that you need to know, I think, for this book is that Madame Bougla and the people in her world, her son and all that, don't age. Time goes by, but they do not age. So in this story, her son Gumar has a son who looks about the same age as Gumar, looks like Gumar, and comes for a visit.
Comes knocking on the door one day.
Knocking at the door. Now he looks very much like his dad.
Yeah, his hair is a little different, but
yeah. But in fact, at one point in the story, I was having a hard time determining which one was Gumar and which one was his son. But I mean, it's not that hard to do. But I went, well, wait a minute. But anyway, that's supposedly that is his son. So
and the man embraces him.
Quite buy that. So
there's the son, and there's Gumar.
There's Gumar. Yeah.
But Madame Bougla believes that he's telling the truth, and she embraces him.
She thinks for sure that is his son, but Gumar himself is not quite that sure.
He's a little skeptical.
Yeah.
Which leads to some of the tension in the story. There's a lot of other stuff going on.
Right. Yeah. We can't give it all away, of course, like we always say. But
beautifully detailed artwork from Larry.
Yeah.
Johnson.
Look at that. Isn't that neat? Yeah.
Gosh, in color. I mean, I followed him for so many years in black and white, and now the production values on his books are they're just through the roof.
Yeah.
They're just wonderful on his comics. So, I mean, it's even more of a pleasure to appreciate his work, but there's stuff going on.
There is stuff going on.
Sinister stuff going on. They are the magic people.
It's based on Madame Bougla's past, things that have happened in the past. That,
I wonder what's in this jar. It looks like it's got eyeballs and bones. And this is Gumar's son. And he summons, you guessed it, he summons a demon. Yeah,
these guys deal in, all of them kind of, well, I don't know about Gumar, but Madame Bougla and this guy that's supposed to be Gumar's son, they deal in demons.
Look at it. He says, I want to bite humans. I want to give them the plague. Let me out, let me out. So he's pretty nasty, a demon. But, see, Madame, if you've been following the series for a long time, Madame Bougla is under a curse. Which, whether she likes it or not, she channels a certain demons from a dark dimension, and her own son Gumar sometimes is replaced by Coruscoro, who you see on the back cover. In this painting.
Painting of Coruscoro on the back.
Yeah, and he carries a plague. He's a really nasty demon. He comes up at certain times, and they haven't found a way past that. Demons seem to appear. Here's another demon right here. So just stuff happens, and it's a really exciting story. It's not just that. It's not just that it's really exciting. It's also you care for the characters. The story's so well written.
True, that's true. Larry always does that, though. His comics are always very, very good.
Yeah.
And a tremendous amount of work that he puts into it. Look at this page here. There's a lot of work.
A lot of work, and he puts them out at a fairly fast pace too.
He does. Yeah, I don't know how he does it.
These comics keep coming out, and the stops are always pulled out.
Now this one is
great art.
650. It's number 3. Why is it number 3? Madame Boogla has had more issues than 3. I'm not quite sure.
She was around in other titles. I
said
think
something
Tales,
about it, but I don't remember.
I'm not sure. I think she might have. Larry did Tales of Fantasy for decades.
Okay, and that may have been Madame. This may be her own publication, and Tales of Fantasy may have been her in stories.
Yeah, she appeared in others of his publications for a long time there.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, this is the comic is I think. Let me look here. 31 pages, and then you've got Boogla comments after that.
Yep.
So we got that, and then that goes on even to the back cover, inside cover, so you can read all that.
It's well worth the price. $6.50 is for this one. That's a good price because you're getting a quality comic.
Yeah. Yep. Take you a little while to read that one.
Story. I mean, there's plenty here to digest, and you'll totally enjoy it. I can promise you that.
Yeah. Larry Johnson, always good. You can always depend on him to be good.
Yeah. And our pal Tom Fellrath has.
Oh yeah.
Once again.
Heroes Now.
The Heroes Return.
Yeah.
With a new comic featuring his characters that most of whom were begun back in what is it, the 80s? Yeah, the 80s. A long time ago.
I don't know. You may know that. I don't.
I get the 80s and the 90s mixed up, but it was back in those days. Those days,
So,
Tom was around. He was into UFO, and after a while, he kind of faded away, like some of us did, and a lot of us faded away, but faded back in quite a while later. And we're, of course, we're great. It's great to have Tom back.
So Tony Lawrence does this story.
There
is a story in the beginning of this book.
It's written by Larry. I mean, by Tom.
And then after you read the story, you have page after page of really cool pin-ups and all kinds of...
Drawn by Keith Newsom.
Oh,
Keith Newsom did the artwork on these pin-ups.
Yeah,
and,
we know him.
I mean, we met him. I met him at Space. You might have met him before, but I met him this year. And he's quite a fine talent. He puts a lot of emotion, and there's a lot of power in the illustrations that he comes up with.
Yeah.
What a great
guy.
So
this gives you an outline of who the superhero is. Parkour. And this is a good thing to have, because if you get other issues of Heroes Now, you know their background from this. So I would definitely recommend getting this.
And that cover is based on Dark Knight Returns #1. It's based on the Frank Miller cover, but we have this character, the Light, one of Tom's characters, on the cover, and the cover is drawn by David Trzynski, inked by Tom Ahern. And Tom Ahern, one of the best inkers in small press.
So I wanted to mention the other story that Tom does is called Hologram. And there is the character from Hologram.
Yep, there he is.
And that's different than Heroes Now. That's a separate story.
Yeah. We got illustration from Rob Cooley. That's really nice. The light and the highlights. Group of supporters. That's the light there. The story in this particular issue, the Patriots, which is a team assembled. The original Patriot passed away. His sidekick Jeff ended up in jail because of a violent confrontation that he had quite a while ago, but they let him out of jail. He's formed his own team, the Patriots, and Parkour, and what was it, the Fuse? Yeah, Fuse. They're all three. They head to Syria, to rescue this lady scientist. So the U.S. government wants them to rescue her. They think she's being held captive, but actually she's working on research and has made contact with an alien being that looks kind of like a squid, and has made contact. So so they rescue her, bring her back to the United States, but she's a reluctant rescuee, and so they're targeting. I'm just looking here, but I'm not going to tell you the ending. It does end with a bang. I'll just say
something, but we don't want to give the ending away. But
but this is nice. Tony Loren's artwork works well with Tom's story.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Terry Flippo on the left there.
Yeah, Terry Flippo's in here. Yep. And
George Lane III. George Lane.
Yeah.
Yep. So George is underestimated as an artist. George Lane,
for sure,
who doesn't live too far from where I live here, he's quite an excellent, influenced by Kirby, but has his own dynamicism to his artwork as well. So I mean, what can you say about Terry Flippo, Axel and Alex, and all the other stuff that he's done? Always does a great job.
I seem to be missing the price on this. Unless it's set inside and I missed it, I don't know the price. I don't think.
Where's my magnifying glass?
I have to get on glasses because the inside printing in this is
you're old when. I had a couple of comics that I was reading and I had to use the magnifying glass. Of course, I'm due for cataract surgery at some point in the next couple of years.
I don't see a price here.
I don't see it either.
I don't see it.
Well,
all you got to do is contact him. We'll have his information, and he'll tell you the price.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll get that information soon because this is a UFO zine.
And he does a little ad for his Phoenix Productions.
Tiny little UFO right there. So
yeah.
I'll be posting all that information in the upcoming UFO newsletter later this month. But we need it sooner. Tom, send us a price on this if you would, please.
And I want to mention, because he talks about this little ad for Phoenix Productions, but he also, and you can get this, has a Phoenix Production catalog.
Saw it coming.
With,
I saw it coming. I knew you were going to pull that up. So
but he's got all of his publications in here.
There's a QR code.
QR codes and
give you more information.
You can get information on all of his
Phoenix Productions.
Upcoming and I think upcoming and ones that he has now. So this I'm sure he would just send you if you asked him. I don't think you have to buy that. That's his catalog. So I'm thinking that Tom would send it to you, but you can ask him. Anyway, good thing to have. All right. What do we got next? More stuff. Huh?
I don't know what Tom looks like. That's how he looks.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
An amiable guy. With a lot of talent and a lot of enthusiasm. So.
Yeah. But we don't want to forget his main publication, which is Strange Times 4.
This one now. Who did that cover?
Well, I don't know. But on the front, I can read you the artists that are in here. Chuck Bunker, Tom Fellrath himself, Mark Haynes, Brian Holgerson, Les Steen, I don't know who that is, Tony Lawrence, Matt Levin, Tony Lorenz, Joseph Morris, Keith Newsom, Sonny Ray, Mandy Shunara, Michael Wagner, and Terry S. Wood. They're all in here.
And I mentioned Tom, and what a great guy he is, and well, he's a Facebook friend of mine, so he posts pictures of his family all the time. Look at this back cover.
Yeah.
Awesome picture of his kids.
Yeah.
Tom has a great family, so he's a family man, artist, a great talent in his own right. He has a story in here, if I can find it, that deals with.
Yeah, he is.
Recently had some
story in here.
health issues, and it's in here somewhere. But this particular issue has a theme, and that is the road back.
The road back. That is the theme. Yeah. Oh, I can tell you something really interesting about this. Look at the page numbers, right? See that page number, 27? That is a road sign. All of the page numbers are different road signs.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't notice that until just now.
Yeah, they're all different road signs. Like here's page 32. That's a road sign. It's I can't get my fingers right, but that 32. That's a road sign. I thought that was a very clever. Here's page 47. Look at that. It's a road sign. So all the pages numbers are road signs. Very clever.
Page 47. That's the story by Tom Fellrath,
I'm just showing the signs.
And Mark Haynes on the artwork. This is really nice. This is a beautiful comic story.
Yeah.
And I came in on actually it starts on page 45. It takes place in the Arctic Circle. Some people who live there they're challenged by a polar bear. In most savage fashion there, and I don't know how much. Based on what I read here, and he's showing conditions in the Arctic Circle. He's showing a small town that's set up there where they begin to plant trees and all. And I don't know if Tom has ever been up north there. I don't know if he's ever been to Alaska, northern Alaska, or what, but he definitely did a little research.
Yeah.
And I can tell that by the pictures.
Here's a page by look again, Tony Lawrence. Look at that. That page.
That bad marriage page?
Bad marriage.
That's not. That can't be Tony. Who is that?
Tony Lawrence.
Oh, Tony Lawrence. That's different from Tony Lorenz.
Right.
That's a distinctive style. But the entire book is stories and artwork about people who have suffered pain in their lives.
Yeah, and they're on the road back. Yeah.
Right. How they are on the road back. I could go back again to Keith Newsom. Keith Newsom has an incredible, I believe this is Keith. Yeah, there was some beautiful painted artwork.
Oh yeah.
From Keith, talking about what he's been through in life. But it's only a moment in time, he says. We all have our stories. You know those times you feel life has pulled the rug out from under you, a tragedy or a life-changing moment. But again, it's only a moment. So Keith, despite all he's been through, has a positive attitude. And, you just keep rolling on. You keep going on, and still more terrific artwork from this super artist.
Here's an interesting one, too. This is by Michael Wagoner. The Road Goes On Forever. And I've seen some of his drawings, excellent artist, but this is different. This has these photographs like this, and then as you go through it, you go to the next one, it's like sticky notes all over, and some of them are sideways and some of them are straight, and you kind of have to follow all that.
Okay, it's but that's not the Michael Wagner. That's Leston. That's not by Michael Wagner there. That's by Leston. This is the Michael Wagner. I know it kind of follows because they're in the coloring.
Oh, I see. It's not. It changes over to. Yeah, I see now.
Yeah, I mean I can see
Michael
it.
Wagner ends here.
Yeah, because I didn't catch that at first either.
I didn't catch that. Yeah.
But yeah, so the Michael Wagner artwork is terrific, and this Leston, who we never heard of.
Right. That's where all these, you could call them sticky notes, are all over. You have to follow it.
Yeah.
And that goes on for a couple of pages. I mean,
sometimes you have to turn the page one way or the other to read.
Yeah. It goes on. Yeah.
Yes. And then that goes on for a few pages.
Tom Fellrath is right here, right next to it.
Right. Tom comes up after that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what I was talking about. Tom had a tumor removed recently. I remember when he was going through that, and he stayed in touch the whole time. And they removed the tumor. Everything seems to be okay. You know, and again, he's on the road to recovery. He talks about being tired, but it says, I try to carry on as if nothing happened. You got to move ahead. Yep.
I do want to mention this one is by Sonny Ray. This is not for kids.
Right.
This one has a little bit of artwork that I wouldn't necessarily want the kids to see. Right. So,
had you heard of Sonny Ray? Had you heard of Sonny Ray before?
Never heard of Sonny Ray. Nice artwork.
Very talented.
Nice but a couple of the drawings are a little adult.
Little adult. Got some, a couple of bad words. Not a really big deal, but it's probably not like something you want to show to your kids.
I wouldn't keep it away from the kids. They don't need that.
Yeah.
You know.
It was funny. Joseph Morris.
Joseph Morris is in there, yeah.
His utterly distinctive cartooning style.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very, very.
Investigating the psychedelic road. Well, Joe says, we're straight edge. No drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes. We've gone our whole life without drugs. Why would you want to stop now? I don't know. Apparently, I don't know. He may be joking here, or perhaps he's done some experimenting. I do know he shows himself walking along.
Right there in the corner on this page, up in the top, on the other page.
On the other page?
See him up in the top?
Yeah.
Yeah. There he is. That's him. We met him at Space. We talked to him quite a bit.
That is him.
Yeah, that's him.
And always interesting. Whatever topic he's dealing with, Joseph Morris is a lot of fun. And
he puts out a tremendous amount of work. He puts out something every day on Facebook. Every day. Yeah.
So, yeah. And there's other contributors here. Oh, of course, we got a page by the great Matt Levin.
Oh, yeah, Matt Levin, right?
That was on the inside of the cover.
He starts right off here with his rubber stamp work, right in the beginning. And he does have a Strange Times devoted entirely to his rubber stamp work that Tom Fellrath published.
That's right. It was issue number 3, I think. The last one was
I think it was 3, yeah.
It was an awesome issue, a really awesome issue.
But
Matt Levin front to back.
Yeah. All right. That's good. I just want to mention this, and I'm sure you have yours handy, because Steve sent me this.
Ta-da!
Steve sent me this. This is Byron Black's collection of early works when he was doing pen and ink.
When you got it, and it was Christmas, and I thought,
yeah, that was very nice.
Before Larned spends money on this, I'm going to send it to him, because he has to have it.
That was very nice.
Big fans of Byron Black.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I spent last night.
This was on the back of one of his original comics, Reed. And he talks about Roland Steppenwolf for libraries everywhere.
And that's when it goes back.
Right there.
I mean,
but
it's
this has
reprinting
all of his early work that was highly detailed pen and ink. And we've talked about it on the show before. I don't want to dwell on too much on it, but if you want to get the original collection, this is it. I'll have the information below so you can get one of these, because it's a real collector's item, and it will help you with his current issues. They're a little different. These stories are a little different, but I've always loved them. I have the original comics also, and now I have the collected, but I have the original comics also. So,
but yeah, I mean, what
that I wanted to get.
Look at, you were mentioning the detail in the early ones. Oh my gosh.
There's nothing quite like Steppenwolf. It's very different. We've talked about him. We actually interviewed him and Byron Black. So you can go back in our episodes, only a couple back, and you can see Byron Black, and he'll tell you all about Steppenwolf.
Wow. It's fascinating. It's really, this is a since I didn't have the original issues, I might have had one or two of them, but to see these reprinted.
Excuse me, I dropped something.
It's nice to know that gravity still works. Yeah.
All right, I'm back from dropping everything on the floor. Yeah. All right, let's go here with
Steve Willis.
Number 24, Cranium Frenzy.
Larned, can we take a quick break?
Yeah, well, how? What?
I want to go to the restroom.
Oh,
Can you pause it for a minute?
Not really. Go ahead. I'll
be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, talk amongst yourselves. Entertain the people.
Okay. I told him to quit drinking, but he didn't believe me. Anyway, I know what I'll talk about while he's gone. This is Cranium Frenzy number 25. Now, in Cranium Frenzy number 25, we have if I can find it here, I will show it to you. I'm going to find it somewhere in here. Let me see. Bear with me. Oh yeah, we have a crossword puzzle. I don't know if that was originally in 24, and that's the answers. Yes, it was in 24. Here's the crossword puzzle that Steve Willis has made. But he also made a big one so you can do it. There you go. You can try your luck at that. I think he includes that with each issue. That's his crossword puzzle.
Yeah.
And, you can do that, you know. That'd be fun. I'm too dumb to do it, but you might be able to do it. All right, let's go back to issue 24.
I haven't done it yet, but I saw that.
Yeah, I haven't done it either, but
number 24. This is one heck of a funny. This is a pretty hilarious issue here.
Yeah, as they all are. Yeah.
The first story has to do with a guy who's in a place where he lives, nicknamed the Farm, a remote and very secure facility where all the residents are savants. I won't use the outmoded term idiot savants, although it is true, he says. Each of these people living in this community have a special gift. And you can say, one thing, okay, like this guy right here. This guy right here. He says, there's Milo, who has the gift of knowing all the cemetery buddies of deceased U.S. vice presidents and enjoys sharing this information with others. So this guy, you know, one thing, he's totally demented, but joyful and happy. That's one thing about Steve's comics. You have these strange characters.
And then down here, right there, I was going to read, you hold that, I'll read it. Millard Fillmore, who was vice president under Zachary Taylor before assuming the burden of serving as our 13th president after his predecessor's death, is buried in the same cemetery as Rick Super Freak James.
Super Freak. Rick James, you bet. And look at that smile on his face. I mean, he's totally crazed.
Man, what a fact. I mean, that's an excellent fact.
So,
oh, boy.
Yeah, I mean, he's here.
Yeah.
Hubert Humphrey, who was the vice president under Lyndon Johnson, is buried in the same cemetery as Herbert Corey, also known as Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. You remember Tiny Tim?
I like this girl, Lacey, on page 4 at the top. Then there's Lacey. Oh. She has the ability to painlessly remove eyeballs with her bare hands and replace them with eyeballs of another person. You literally see the world through someone else's eyes. And that's her right there. Right there. So you can see the world through somebody else's eyes if you let her change eyeballs.
She did have an accident there where she dropped a bucket of eyeballs. And
yes, well, she's juggling them. That's not safe. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about Steve's comics. Not only are they crazy, wacky, they're also funny, but there's a certain joy. There's a great sense of humor to these.
Oh my God! Yeah.
They lift you up, and oh my goodness. I like this one.
Geometry here.
That's the one I'm looking at.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Can you read it? I'll hold it up. You read it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you look at the top panel, the way he structures even a short comic strip like this, you see the two guys in the first panel, and they're just kind of looking straight ahead. And one of them has an idea. And he says, geometry spells fun for you and me. Can't you see? And he's getting all, it's the way to go. Come on, gang. Let's put on a geometry show. And then, so he's waiting for a reaction.
There's the reaction at the last.
The other guy, he doesn't react.
Yeah.
So they just go back to where they were. Just straight ahead, dead ahead.
You know what's coming up next? Mrs. Bug in the Butt. Oh
yeah, Mrs. Bug in the Butt.
Yeah. Mrs. Bug in the Butt. Very famous.
In our last episode, Steve Willis, Steve talked about Mrs. Bug in the Butt.
Mrs. Bug in the Butt, because what she was doing was he was posting cartoons and she was ripping them off the bulletin board. He was posting them on and tearing them up. So I think that.
Right. There she is doing exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
Steve did a little surveillance and actually caught her in the act.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. And he's talking about her. Now he gets to this other page here where he wrote a song about her.
Yeah.
Wrote a song about her.
I think that you're going to do that, right?
Maybe very quickly. Where it began, I can't begin to knowing, but then I know it's something weird. Was on the board where you tore up the Mortys, who have believed my work you feared. Hands, angry hands, tearing up, swearing loud, censoring. Bug in the butt, what goes on inside your head? You are a nut. What you don't like, you will shred in secret. That's my Neil Diamond impersonation. Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
If Neil himself did it, it would have sounded a whole lot better. But
yeah.
But sometimes Steve Willis will use music. He'll come up with stuff and he'll
now our favorite, of course, is always on the back page. It's called the West Coast Buttercube Brothers.
Buttercube Brothers.
These two guys are Buttercubes. And it says here in the first panel, what's with the bagpipes? It's a Scottish thing. I fooled them into thinking we're butterscotch. I think you mean butterscots, don't you? At any rate, it means they're less likely to melt as soon. Oh, that's smooth, real smooth. Huh? See those bowls of ice cream for dessert? They want to make a topping. Once again, I fail. Tried to make
That's it.
a hot topping. Two Buttercubes tried to make a hot topping, and once again, they failed and melted again. These guys have a terrible time. They melt in every issue. It's amazing.
They just can't win.
Yeah. And we got number 25.
We're talking about the Buttercube Brother. Let's show the one on the back of this one.
On 25?
25, yeah.
Okay.
Buttercube Brothers.
Yeah.
Because this is a little different. He says, something's different. He said, yeah, I noticed that too. Let me see. It's not getting warmer, but, and we're not starting to melt. So they think they got it solved. I think it's actually possible. We'll make it to the last panel without turning into blobs. Well, they didn't exactly melt, but someone turns on the blender.
You know, you can't, I mean, how can you predict these things? They finally figure out how not to melt, and some moron, probably Steve Willis, turns on the blender. Unbelievable. I can't believe it.
So
I like the beginning of
number
this.
25.
This is Morty, the dog.
Right.
He's trying to get the issue started here, and he's pulling and pulling, and finally he does get it going.
Like a lawnmower, he's pulling the thing, and
this is how he starts the issue, and he did get it going. I'm ready. Let's draw some comics, Steve says in the last panel.
Third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm, so, you know, Morty got it going. So then there's a label fable right here. And this guy,
Cacklebee allows people to attach
labels to him. So he has labels all over him. And you can read all the labels when you buy the issue.
Yeah, but then one day the wind blew all the notes away, and nothing was found underneath.
He disappeared. Yeah.
Steve is a genius. I mean,
what I like, this is one of my favorites, Shifty. These are different shifts. There's the day shift is going along on the assembly line, and they're putting dunce caps on heads. It kind of tells you something, you know what I mean? There's something to that. And then there's the swing shift, that's in the next panel, and the night shift, and then a dimensional shift, which changes everything.
Yeah, that pretty much wipes everything out right there.
Dimensional shift really
zany that is.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, just you go to any page, just start reading, and you're going to be laughing.
Our other favorite, which is recurring a lot, is the world's funniest joke in the world. The funniest joke in the world. And here it is. Hi, folks. Rusty Jingle Pickle here, and I'm going to share with you the funniest joke in the world. And wait a minute. The page rolls up. You can see it right there as he's trying to tell the joke, ruining the joke once again because the page curled up. And, you know, he says he's sorry about it right there. Sorry about the panel curling up and causing the whole page all fixed now. I'll now return you to the story. Well, he returns the story, but the guy's done telling the joke.
And the porcupine said to the anteater, "That's no giant eyeball. It's a kumquat in a hat box." Ha ha!
Laughing and everything, and we missed the doggone middle of the joke.
Laughter for 57 minutes.
I don't know.
So, what is this? Somebody trying to contact me. I can't talk to anybody right now.
Oh, somebody trying to contact. Well, we're just about wrapped up because we can't go too much longer here.
Yeah, but
we gotta wrap it up.
I could read Steve Willis's work all day. I could just.
Oh yeah. He's got a new one coming out, 26, and he says it's going to be quite different. So
might be different. Yeah.
We're anxious to see that.
Yeah.
But we've kind of gone over our time limit a little bit here.
Well, because I got up and went to the restroom, I messed up everything.
Yeah, if he hadn't gone to the restroom,
Gotta go.
And he was gone for like a half hour. So.
Well, we got a bunch of great books. Very quickly.
We'll put all the information in there down below.
Got more Morty comics, but we're running out of time.
I got Morty comics too. Now Morty I know what I was going to show you. His playing cards. Here is the Queen of Mortys, right there. The Queen of Mortys. And here's a number 3 of the Mortys, card 3.
Oh, I got this.
What do you? Oh, you got card 5. And this is card 9 of the Mortys, which has quite a few heads on it.
Number 10.
You got 10, which even has more heads. So these two might be the same suit. I don't know. But these are coming along. This is Morty Comics number 7,499. And he told us in his interview he's going to get to 10,000. And
I believe it.
He can. He thinks 24 or 25 he'll reach 10,000. I think he said 24, didn't he? You're 1920.
I think so. Was it 24? Maybe 26 or 25. I don't think it was 24. But
wasn't 24?
Within the next couple of years, I think.
Okay. All right. We're going to finish smoking these cigars, and we're going to have to say goodbye because, like I say, we've gone over our time limit, and nobody will watch it any longer than this, including me. So, adios. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Adios, folks. Hello.
Well, welcome to Talking Small Press Comics, number 61, episode 61, with Steve Keeter with the headphones on, and me, Larned Justin, without my head on.
Without your head on?
My headphones on, sorry.
Larned doesn't have his head. This is an illusion.
Most of the time, that's true. Yeah.
Anyway,
so we got comics.
Yeah, and I got a new chair. I got a new computer chair here. No big deal. Doesn't look like, in fact, you can't even see it because the back is lower than my previous, but it doesn't squeak. I mean.
Oh, okay. No
squeak.
All right.
I mean, you guys are incredible. You made it through 60 videos with this squeaking chair.
Yeah.
And now you get a little relief.
That's why I can't hear it anymore. What? That squeaky chair kind of ruined the hearing here. But you fixed it, so I guess I'll be all right.
Yeah. I gave away the other chair.
What do you got? Which is the first one?
We got a few zines. We got a few zines to read. I would like right away to go to my friend, our friend, Ken Leach, who sent us a couple of Appa zines.
Okay. He's actually got two Appa Alpha Tunes. They're Alpha Tunes, yeah.
Yeah. And he sent us, he's in Alpha Omega, which is the Christian Comics Apple. And they put out a lot of great stuff. Steve Shipley is a member, and these zines are interesting because it's a view of a Ken's life. It's not only he has a lot of funny creative stuff in here,
but he also has family pictures and things like that. Which one are you looking at, 33 or 34?
Okay, this one is 233.
Okay, 233, yeah.
So yeah.
But here's what I was wondering about this. Is this, let me look here, show you. But I was trying to figure this out. Right here, the artwork, is that Ken Leach's artwork?
What page is that? Let me see if I can find it.
That's right inside the first page at the top.
Really? Oh, okay, let me see. That looks like Ken's artwork, yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Then you look over here, and it looks different. Like here. I mean, to me it looks different. Like that.
Okay. That's Ken too. Yep, yeah, that's him. Yeah. I just, some days he's in a more sketchy mood.
It's more refined sometimes and a little scratchier other times.
Yeah. But it's an Apple zine, so it's not like a zine that people pay money for. But the interesting thing, and I asked Ken about this. I messaged him just recently. Ken and I were both in the Pizzazz Comics Co-op back in the 80s, late 80s and early 90s. I was even chairman of that group for a little while. Steve Shipley was chairman, and most of the time, but also during the 80s, Matt Feazell, our friend Matt Feazell, and we'll have some news about him later in the show. Matt was at the Chicago Comic Convention in 1988. I was there in 1987. 1988, I was in Chicago. Both of those years, we had a huge small press presence, not just UFO members, but had practically the entire UFO there. And Larry Blake and Jim Pack and Alan Freeman, a lot of folks were there, and Matt Feazell, of course. But Matt has made a video of that, and I was looking at, and I have a DVD of it that Matt made. I remember because he had this big, this is 1988, so they had big clunky video cameras in those days. And I remember Matt walking around the convention with that big giant video camera on his shoulder and asking people questions. And I'm looking at this video just recently, and I see a bunch of small presses, and I see a guy there who looks just like Ken Leach. And I know what Ken looked like in the late 80s because we were in Pizzazz, and he used to publish pictures of himself. And I said, that's Ken Leach. That's gotta be Ken Leach. So I asked him recently, and he said, yeah, he was there in '88. So yeah, it had to have been him.
Is that Ken right there?
I believe that is Ken.
Okay. It doesn't. I don't think it says, but I think that is him.
Yeah, it doesn't say, that particular picture I had to look twice at because I wasn't really sure.
Yeah.
This one is definitely him.
Oh, you got the magazine in front of your mic. Can't hear you.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, that's something I have to work on. I just got a new computer, so we did a test earlier, Larned and I, but I have to work out just little things. And that's one of them. I got to make sure that, Oh, and well, I'm using a different headset too. This one has a microphone instead of using the computer microphone. So I got to be careful about that. So any imperfections, folks, I'm sorry. We're still we're testing my new computer, and also we want this video to be dynamite, which is a comic book that Steve Shipley published back in the 70s. We want an excellent video.
And so, yeah. In Leach now, this I'm sure is his artwork inside the zine here. Right?
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah. And this guy, okay. Well, the guy here, I like this one because the guy is training to be a ventriloquist. And he's saying, Peter Piper, pick the peck on.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Hear it now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
You're okay.
And you see Ken himself over to the side there saying, he's got really good lip control, doesn't he? Which brings us back to the front cover. Ken has a friend who makes ventriloquist dummies.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, he mentions that. And this
I think that's in this first page here probably where he's got all the, probably in there.
Yeah. So he knows the guy. That's interesting. I don't know if you ever had a ventriloquist dummy. I had one when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think we all did. Yep.
Yes. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
and anyway, these are just different pictures and things of his family sometimes. Cartoons are in here, all kinds of stuff. I don't know, you know, if you can buy this or if you, or you can ask him to send you one. The other one is the same kind of a thing, just the next issue. And this one has some stuff about King Kong in it.
And I think that's his children on the front, or
I think it is. I think I read that. That's kids. You got them involved. And then here in this one, there is a strip in here, and I'm trying to see who it's by. I don't know offhand, but it's
well, that's Larry Blake. Larry Blake artwork.
This?
Yeah.
That does not look like Larry's. But
well, he's basing it. If you look at the previous page, there's artwork here from Louisa Felix, and Louisa Felix was in Pizzazz back in the 80s and 90s. And she passed away, I don't know, 15 years ago or something. But she did the layout.
She did the story here. Yeah.
She did the story and she did the layout. She was a pretty good artist in her own right. And so Larry. You know, we know Larry hasn't been well lately, and he's been through some surgery recently. But before he went into the surgery, he was able to complete these 2 pages. So,
okay.
Really nice artwork.
Looks different than Larry's normal work to me.
I think because it's a tribute to Louisa Felix.
Yeah.
And
he probably tried to do that style. Yeah.
Here's some of her artwork from way back then.
Yeah. This is some of her drawings. Yeah.
So she was a very talented artist and a really nice person. So we all got to know her, the folks who were in that particular co-op. We got to know her pretty well. And, yeah, she was very, very prolific.
So this is
a lot of work.
8.5 by 11 has 1 staple in it. And I would suggest we will have Ken's information down below. And if you want to ask them to send you these, I don't know if there's a charge for them or not. I don't see anything, but you know, it might be fun to look at.
If you send him a couple of stamps, he'll probably send it to you. That's what I figure.
That's another way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, we got that.
We got some stuff. We got some stuff from Sherman Burnett.
Yeah, and we haven't had anything from Sherman for a while. And these actually, number 23, and I think the artwork in 23 is Tony Lorenz. I know it is.
Yeah.
And
Lorenz,
he mentions in here this is continued from 2017. So.
I think is it from a Matrix issue? It might be from an Energon story, but the Energizes.
Tricks, but you know, it makes it a little difficult to follow the story because you don't quite know what happened ahead of that. But I mean, it's cool. It's cool. And Tony's art is always excellent, you know.
Absolutely. At first I was...
He keeps up, but I guess he does.
Yeah, I was a little confused at first trying to figure out who were the good guys and who were the bad guys.
Yeah, I had a hard time a little bit trying to figure that
apparently,
out.
There's a group called the Circle, and those are the bad guys. And they're coming after Matrix.
Yeah.
And they come up against another bad guy, Akio Misita, who has powers. And for some reason, these folks are at odds with each other. And you can see there's a battle scene here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's cool. You know, Tony Lorenz always does. I love the way he does perspective shots. He doesn't do it like everybody's on the stage. He goes up high or he comes down low or whatever, and he shows a perspective. And Tony's really talented at that.
Yeah, he's very good. So this is very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
an action right there.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Right in the chops.
And he's not afraid to hit a woman, this guy. He's pretty bad guy.
Takes, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's number 23, and he also sent us number...
This Matrix. She says, bring it on. That's Matrix herself right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to say, I mean, because I'm not going to criticize, okay? But, you know, how guys will be guys, and when they draw a woman superhero and they come up with the costume design, they decide, well, let's cut all this part out here so you can see, you know, exactly what's, you know, you can see what's going on there. And
well, the next issue, number 23, there you go, is a good example of it right there.
Yeah.
This is issue 24, I mean.
24, which is written by Sherman Burnett. Yeah, that's a really good example. Yeah.
There's an example.
Because you know a guy when he did the artwork, because you know this sort of thing. You know, he's a superhero.
You're holding that's in front of the mic.
That's in front of the mic. This is something I have to work on. So sorry, folks, but for this particular video, that might happen in and out. But Larned's keeping me. He's keeping me on my toes. Yeah. So it's better. It's better now, right?
Much. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I got it.
Okay.
So this particular issue has artwork by Mike Bowman.
And this is the first I've seen that I know of Mike Bowman. Mm-hmm. Nice work, you know. Nice
and
work.
It's kind of humorous because Matrix is she encounters this gang of thieves who are dressed as
pandas.
Wait a minute, my that was hang on, I got to turn that off. Let me turn her off. Alexa popped up. She heard me say something and she thought I was talking to her. You know, Alexa? And
Alexa.
Yeah, I don't know if that's in the video. I don't know if you guys could hear it or not, but she said, sorry. She said, sorry, what did you say? And but I X'd her out. We got rid of that. Folks, it's a new computer, okay? I'm doing my best. We'll get there. But you got a group of bad guys who are dressed as like panda bears.
Yes.
Yeah, which is really funny. And Matrix, I think, is kind of funny, too, even though she's over here kicking their butts.
Yeah.
So, a very clever story from Sherman. So Matrix, it says here is a newscast. Matrix, one of Chicago's newest superheroes, captured a group of criminals calling themselves the Bears, who, get this, were wearing bear exosuits. Sure enough. So And this is interesting. It ties in with the Energons, and you know, Sherman's been doing the Energons for like at least a couple of decades.
For a long time.
Yeah, and then there's some other bad guys pop up at the end. I mean, there's no shortage of good guys
and bad guys. You're right.
Bad guys here. That one looks like a pumpkin kind of guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but the stories continue. Another triumph from Sherman Burnett. His comics are never boring, I'll tell you that.
Number 23 is 75 cents. Pretty thick. I don't know how many pages, but it's pretty thick. And then number 24 is only 50 cents from Sherman. And he has been, you know, whose art does this look like to you on the back?
I'm really not sure. I was looking at that and trying to figure that out. Who do you think it looks like?
I almost said it, and it went right out of my head. Ken Anthony. Ken Anthony?
Ken Anthony? It could be. Ken Anthony the second.
Like his?
Yeah, it could be.
I think it does. Yeah.
He didn't sign it, and I don't see.
I couldn't find anything. At least I missed it if it was in there, or if it says anything about it. But that's who it looks like to me. I don't think it's Bowman. His art is different than that.
It's a different style. Yeah.
But I think that's Ken Anthony.
Could be.
I don't know. Anyway,
fun book.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
good stuff.
Let me grab my water bottle real quick here, just a second.
Okay.
All right. Next issue, I'll probably switch headphone. Everything will probably be different, but you know, we're working with this for now. You hear me okay?
I hear you fine. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle.
Gurgle, gurgle.
Yeah.
All right. So.
All right. What do we got next?
Well, we got all kinds of interesting stuff here. I don't even know where to go next.
Grab one, and I'll grab mine.
I'll tell you what I got that I really got a kick out of.
I can't hear you. I don't know what you're saying.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I don't think it's coming through that mic.
I don't think so either. I think it's coming through this mic. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, hear you fine. That's why when you hold
the computer mic,
it didn't work.
Let's test this out.
Okay.
Hello, hello. Now if I go like this.
Grandma Bev. All right. This is Tom Cherry.
Does the sound muffled here?
No.
No, here?
No.
Here?
Okay. It's okay. I don't
know, but apparently it's not coming through this mic.
I don't think it's going through that mic, no.
But these headphones work pretty well, so forget that. We'll get it down, folks. It was. I love this from Tom Cherry.
Which one are you doing? Oh yeah, this one.
I got 3 here, and they're all.
We got 3.
They're all so funny.
I met Tom years ago at maybe the first space, and he has been sending his stuff to me regularly ever since. I think I must have made an impression on him.
I guess. I'm glad he's sending them this way, too.
So.
You can just turn to any page. Yeah. This has and it's a lot of 4-panel strips.
Yeah. Yeah.
How old are you, Grandma? 29 and holding. And the grandson says, holding what? She says, a baseball bat in case anyone argues otherwise. And Tom's a very talented cartoonist.
He does a lot of stuff.
Here's the grandson.
Yeah.
Is that right? Is it a radio show?
Yeah, he has a radio show too. Yeah. And he does with some people.
Oh, this killed me. This just killed me. What does my mommy do? Okay. So this little boy, he's in class. Time to read your papers, class. And this guy says, my mom is a nurse. Mother is an architect. My mom is a caterer. And he says, my mommy is a slut. I'm covering it up with my fingers, but there we go. experimenting with the new camera, but my mommy is a slut. And then, he goes home. Teacher says you can't help me with my homework anymore. So that's the influence of Grandma Bev.
Mm-hmm.
And
this is Grandma Bev also smoking facing the other way.
Yeah.
She smokes in either direction.
That's right. That's right. She does.
Both ways. Yeah.
Yeah. She left-handed or right-handed smoker.
And then this one's a little ominous.
Yeah.
She's kicking death in the behind there.
Yep. And she seems, she may be a grandma, but apparently she's, how you say it? Well, she's not uninterested in men.
Oh, right. Like here is, I'm sorry, Walt. It
her
just
candle.
won't work.
Her candle is still lit. That's what they say. Her candle is still lit.
Oh, okay.
So.
But in this one, she says, I'm sorry, Walt. It just won't work. I would love to date you, but I'm not hiring a Sherpa to mount you. See, Walt is fairly tall, and Grandma Bev is not that tall.
Not even close, right? So, I mean, here her son, her grandson, says her birthday is coming up. And he says, what kind of cake would you like?
I can't hear you. Whoop, had to do that.
Whoa. Yeah, because now we know the camera,
the computer,
the microphone is here. Yeah, so still have the same problem. It's just that we know where it's coming from. I wonder what type of cake Grandma wants. I'll go ask her. And she says, beef cake.
There you go. Definitely.
Kind of a little. She's a little bit horny, you know. I'm sorry, you know. Grandma, like I say, her candle is still lit. So these are just funny comics.
Yeah,
I laughed out loud.
50 cents a piece.
Yeah.
Buy them all. You get 3 comics for $1.50.
I genuinely laughed out loud at these, and I love Tom's art style.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Tom is a good guy and a funny guy.
So, highly recommended. Grandma Bev.
50 cents a piece. How can you go wrong?
Yeah. Did you get this one?
No.
That's from Clark Dismeyer.
No, I did not get that.
Oh, okay. I got it. I will. You don't have it, but it's the same thing. It's a series of 2-panel gags.
Mm-hmm.
I will show one thing. These 2 guys are sitting beside each other, and the one guy says, "Whoa, smells like something died in here." Mm-hmm. And then he says, "Oh yeah, that's my girlfriend," and you can see his girlfriend has indeed passed away.
Ooh, Clark.
Clark Dismeyer. He does Mushy the Mushroom and a lot of other hilarious stuff.
His main character, yeah.
Yeah. So that was in something I got. So. And here's one that Larned recommended to me and sent me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it is, right?
Yeah, I know. This is King Cat.
King Cat.
Number 82, by the way. 82. 82. And
Holy
this is John Porcellino, who is a legend in small press. And the thing about John is there's such a thing in small press as art zines. They're a little different. And the kind of comics we usually review, pretty much straightforward comics, but art zines are a little different. John appeals to both. He appeals to the art scene crowd, and he appeals to the other people too. And I think King Cat is the first cat he owned when he first started doing these. And King Cat passed away a number of years ago, but he still calls his zine King Cat.
Yeah, well, obviously he loves cats from this.
Yeah, and so look at his style. If you've never seen it, look how simple this is. Very, very simple drawings. And the one with the spider there, if you hold that up, I feel sorry for the spider on the bathroom ceiling, waiting all day and waiting all night, and waiting all day and waiting all night. And that's all there is to that.
Yeah, waiting all day and waiting all night. Yeah, I mean, much of what he does is a slice of life. So it's just like moments from his life.
They are, and this one was from 2021 and 2022. Apparently, the spider was on the ceiling for about a year.
They do. They hang out up there a long time.
Yeah. But it has all kinds of things in it. There's written parts of it here where he does some writing. There's quite a bit of writing, as a matter of fact, a couple of pages here.
Yeah, that's almost a poem, Dreams 3.
Yeah.
He talks about his dreams.
He always puts in, if I can find it, oh boy, when you want to find something, you can't find it. Let's see where it is. 1 second, bear with me.
He details his adventures going to the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Years ago, he would go to the 7-Eleven to buy Conan comics. And it was exciting to him that the Conan comics had, well, you can see by the picture. So, just a moment. I thought I heard something. Just a second here.
Well, I can't find what I was looking for.
Yeah. How many do you need? 3 hours. Okay, just a moment. This one.
Here's one called Baffling Detours.
I think that's $3.
He was driving along listening to Prince. And he just says it's heaven, driving along on a detour listening to Prince.
Yeah. Sorry, this is real life, folks.
Here's one down here with blowing curtains.
Okay, this is still the King Cat, right?
Yeah. And blowing curtains was August 20th, 2022 is when that happened, and he recorded it in 2023. Yeah. So throughout the book, there's all these kinds of things. And, I mean, he sells these all over the world. All over the world. And I think makes at least part of his living doing this. Here's nature notes he has in here.
Describing watching a Yellow Submarine.
Yeah.
He saw the movie Yellow Submarine. Yep. Hey, Bulldog, Blue Meanies, and all you need is love. So, beautiful. So, in case you guys are wondering, that was my roommate. He needed quarters to do his laundry.
Oh, so you're the quarter man?
Yeah, I got. He knows I always got quarters. So, we have a coin washing machine here, coin washer and a coin dryer, because the owner of the house, he works at a Hilton. And when they're throwing away stuff, they give it to him. So he put it in the back, and we all pay quarters we put quarters in for our laundry. So it's not my house, but I'm happy to contribute, you know. Yeah, this is real life, just like this comic. Yeah, John Porcellino is very talented.
Yeah, very different.
He's the back cover.
Yeah, and this is $5. However, there is handling and shipping. I will let you know that. It's $5 on the cover, but it's plus handling and shipping. So, and he has a distro for small press zines called Spit and a Half. And that'll be down in the description. And you can buy all kinds of zines from him.
Yeah. www.spitandhalf.com.
Yeah. That's his distributor or distribution that he runs.
Yeah, well, that's great. I mean, the artwork is simplistic.
It's very simple.
But yet it's expressive. It tells the story.
It tells the story, and that's all he wants. A couple of panels to convey what he encountered at some time, and he just may take a year for him to put it in a book, but he does eventually get it in there. Yeah.
So I very much enjoyed that one, and thanks for sending that one. I appreciate that.
Okay.
We'll keep an eye on 82. It's hard to believe. 82
issues. Yeah. Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if it has a page count. It's quite a few pages. I don't see a page count, but there's quite a few pages in there. So, anywho, that's John Porcellino. And what do we have next?
This is the Orp.
Orp. Yes. Alan Sissom.
Alan Sissom. My pal Alan Sissom.
Little space guy.
He likes to do these space adventures with these strange beings.
But this story basically is from the 70s, from what he says in here.
Right, yeah.
He wrote it from the 70s. He didn't get around to drawing it.
Even something. He started with something he did in high school. He said.
In high school, yeah.
Yep, 1976, 77.
The Orp is a space traveler. Travels through space, and in this issue he encounters a planet called Earth, which doesn't have a good reputation among all the planet travelers. The Orp is not really too thrilled with Earth.
Yeah, and apparently he did this. He wanted to do this for high school. He was working on a self-published magazine called Barf. That had the adventures of the Orp in there, but one of his teachers said that he wouldn't be allowed to sell those in the school, so so he shelved that project. And here it is; it pops up again like 30 years later or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's got some nice artwork from Alan.
Yeah. Yeah, he mentioned. He said my artwork wasn't very good then. I think I've improved. Well, yeah, very good. Very nice.
Yeah, I've always liked Alan's artwork. The inks are really nice, too.
And what's funny is you get into the story, all of a sudden it kind of switches here to a superhero. and the superhero...
A very unique superhero.
Yeah, the toilet paper man. It kind of switches right into the toilet paper man, although it's part of the same story. It seems a little different.
And it's something that began during the COVID crisis when nobody had toilet paper.
No, the one guy here, he's run out of toilet paper. You can see the shelf there is empty of toilet paper. But the toilet paper man saves the day.
Toilet paper man.
Yeah. You know what he throws? He throws toilet rings at you. If you're a bad guy, he'll fling one of these toilet rings at you.
Yep.
There he is. Right
there. He said, when evil takes a potty break, the toilet paper man acts.
There you go.
So you got to watch out for the toilet paper man.
He's in color on the back, and he will fling that at you.
Right. That's a nice back cover.
Toilet paper seat. A toilet seat. Completely rounded.
Yeah. He makes his debut. He's up on the ledge of a building, and he thinks he can hear cheering voices below as he stands up there. Yeah, that's what they're saying. They're saying, jump, jump, jump. Jump. So this is really funny stuff from Alan Sissom.
Crazy stuff. Then he has a little page where he shows you how he developed the Orc character, how he did some sketching and the Orc character.
The development over the years.
And this is $2. Color covers, $2. Mini comic from Alan Sissom. Very cool. This #1, Orc #1. I kind of thought I saw Orc before, but
so you need to get it. This is the first issue by
I actually thought I saw the Orc before, but maybe I dreamt it. I don't know.
I think he's appeared before somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe in the UFO newsletter. Alan did a few strips when he was a member of the UFO, and I think I've seen this character before. So
I think I have too, but he's got his own book now, and like we said, this is #1. So, okay. Okay, what do you got?
I got Neutron Star Adventures.
Okay. Yeah.
From Doug Freeman.
This is Doug Freeman. This
Doug
is
Freeman.
2023. Neutron Star.
Neutron Star. Neutron Star. Sounds like Neutron Star.
Neutron Star. And he does mention where that came from. It's a play on words from neutron star.
Neutron Star.
Neutron Star. He mentions that right here.
And this is a series of comic strips, full color comic strips. Can you hear me okay? How's the mic?
That's okay. He mentions that he likes comic strips and he wants to have that concept in a comic book. So it's made up of strips.
Yeah.
You can see it says to be continued, if I can do it right.
Yeah, so each page is a strip, a comic strip.
It says to be continued, but it's actually continued on the next page. Right here.
Yeah, because he's printing it out from a website.
Yeah. And then it goes on to the next page right here in the spread. And then after that, you get a new story.
Yeah.
This is a new story. And it has 2 pages.
And Doug's artwork is beautiful.
Very cool. And he mentions that he has a little shaky hand problem. But I don't notice anything.
I don't see that at all from here.
Anything like that. I think maybe these are done digitally,
Yeah. But this one's not. Did you get this?
Yes. Yeah, I have that.
Okay. And this was enclosed also within the zine, and I don't see any problem at all. Doug Freeman is one of my favorite small press.
Yeah.
One of my favorite small press comics. He's done work for me. He drew The Raven for me, for my books. And now I get problems with the lighting.
The guy's making moonshine.
Looks that way.
He's going to test it out, And here's what he says right here is kind of right here. Right here he says, and it smells like damn it. I am not sure what damn it smells like, but that's what he said.
I don't know, but when he tries it out,
big mistake.
Transformed into.
Yeah, he drinks it himself.
He looks like you, Larned. Was that you? He's transformed into.
I don't know. I can't hear you. You got the thing in front of the mic.
Oh yeah, I said he's transformed into you. He's got a little bit of a beard.
There you go. Yeah, he transforms into this character. And then on the back page,
you find out exactly what it is.
Kind of a monster. From drink, you drink a little moonshine, that's probably what's going to happen to you. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I think.
So, yeah.
So, and
sort of a lycanthrope. Pointed ears and pointed fangs.
Yeah.
But excellent artwork. I mean, the art by Doug is excellent.
Excellent.
I mean, it always is.
It's only a couple pages here, but there's no price or anything on this that I know of. And if you get this, there's no price on this either. But you can ask about it. We'll have his information down below, and you can ask him about these and this.
Yeah. And nice to see Doug's artwork in full color.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got an evil witch here and someone with a skull cap that gives them infinite power.
The skull cap is part of the story. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These little short stories, though, we don't want to give too much away. You know, they're not that long, so we don't want to spoil it. But it's cool. Yeah.
So we got a lot of stuff. We were thinking maybe we didn't have enough stuff to do a show right now, but yes, we did.
Yeah. I guess this will be next.
From Tom Fellrath.
Tom Fellrath came up with something he wanted to do called the fanzine. This is number 1. And he wants to do kind of like his feelings of a review. But he makes them very short. And he'll show you I want to show you the first one.
He wanted to do a legitimate fanzine. Where he's a fan of other small press creators.
And he talks about, he gives you his take. This is Marcel Dunois. I don't know how you say that. But you're looking at a rocket ship really done well, and Tom talks about that.
Wow. It looks like it's really taking off.
It does,
looks like you're looking right down.
You know, if you see it better, you'll be amazed.
Yeah.
But Tom, you know, he's found comics that I don't know about. This one must be from Australia. And
Steve
do
Steiner.
a little blurb about it. See down at the bottom where it's from Steve Steiner, and then he does this little blurb about it here. He talks about what the comic looks like, and then he writes a little bit about it. Not a lot.
Yep.
See, here's another one. Lesser known dinos, and then here's his comment over here, right in the middle of the page. And I think this is a guy that had his son draw the dinos, and he put it in there.
Yeah, it looks that way. You can see a contrast there, but
you can see the dinos that his son did.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Stuck it in there, yeah. And I have no idea where Tom is finding these.
Yeah, look at this one, Arthur Adams. This page. Whoa.
Look at that artwork. Yeah, isn't that cool? Yeah,
that's great. I mean, Doug gives a description of the artist. I don't know if you can hear me over there, but he gives a description of the artists involved and a little history. So apparently, Art Adams was around the 1980s, and
really cool.
I can't believe I never saw this guy's work before. But it's pretty cool.
But I've seen this guy's work.
Yeah, that's Matt Feazell.
That is Matt Feazell.
Yeah, and I just happened to have.
Look at that.
I just happened to have
Mr.
Comics and the Hey Comics Kids, as well as a recent issue of The Cynical Man.
The Amazing Cynical Man.
Yep. America's laid off a superhero who's been around for so long.
You don't know who Matt Feazell is. I don't know where you've been. But all stick figures he does. He can draw anything, but he does comics and stick figures. Always.
Yeah, and I can prove that because I've seen his full figure work from many years ago. But Matt, well, you know, you're gonna hear a lot more about Matt Feazell.
Yeah, you keep watching because you're gonna hear from Matt Feazell, and we are really looking forward to it. So
should we tell him? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Matt's going to be on the show next week.
Yeah.
And
as long as everything goes good, you know, unless something happens. But yeah, he is going to be on for a full interview, and that's going to be fun.
And yeah, it's interesting. It's different because it's all in full color. Matt Feazell in full color.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have that one, but I have some, but not that one.
He did this for a comic store.
Oh, okay.
The Hey Kids comic shop or something.
We'll talk more about him. I don't want to give anything away. Anyway, he's a very interesting guy and been around small press since 1902.
Since the dawn of mankind.
Dawn of mankind.
And I've known him for a lot of years, and he was in Chicago, as I said, in '87 and '88 when I was there. He's always been interesting. He's very articulate, as you will find out when you see the interview, and he's influenced a lot of people. Influenced a lot of people. So we'll get into that in our next episode when we talk to Matt.
Yeah, that'll be good. Looking forward to that.
And I got one more.
Okay, I think I know who you got.
We always save for last.
We save Cranium Frenzy by Steve Willis till last every time. And this is issue 26, which is very, very different than most of his issues.
It is interesting.
This is called On the Other Hand. And it's all about left-handed people.
Right.
All about left-handed people. Everything is about left-handed people. The whole thing. And I think Steve thinks that right-handed people are prejudiced against left-handed people.
I don't think he's kidding around, but but he does describe his experiences being left-handed in a world of right-handed people. Yeah. That how left-handed people are only there's only 1/10 of the population that is left-handed, and it shows up a lot of things that are difficult for left-handed people to deal with, including wine openers. These little school desks like this, which have the right hand
on the right. Yeah, you know, your arm sits on the right hand side.
Rulers, etc., etc. All kinds of that. I never thought about. I never thought about it before.
I never thought of that either. But he's got all kinds of things like can opener is only for right-handed. You can't get a left-handed can opener.
And that's funny because he mentions can openers too. That left-handed people become so accustomed to dealing with right-handed implements with using their left hands that when somebody, for instance, gives them left-handed can openers designed for left-hand, they don't know what to do. He says that. He says that somewhere. I thought that was really funny. Like, what do you do?
Now, I'm not sure why a peeler. You see, he has a peeler there.
Yeah.
Does that make a difference? It does?
It must.
Sharp. I don't know how that, I don't know. But
everything's on the wrong side. Zippers.
Record players, too.
Yeah, record players is on the right side. And you never,
on the right side.
As a right-handed person, you may have never thought of these things. And it's funny that he brings this all up. And he does it with a lot of humor.
Yeah, very funny.
But like zippers, for instance, if you're if you're a man and you try on a sweater or something that belongs to a lady, the zipper's on the other side, and it's like you're like, whoa, this isn't right, So that's something that left-handed people will be dealing with every day.
Yeah, I like this one where these two guys are eating. One's left-handed, one's right-handed, and they're going through a rough time.
Yeah, I got there the same time as you did. There they go.
Yeah, that's.
You see, it's still that great Steve Willis sense of humor. It's still there. And he shows about, let's see, he injured his hand or something at some point, and he shows that, well, this is Morty.
He broke his left arm.
He had to use his right hand. Yeah, broke his arm. And this is Morty using his right hand.
You're fading out.
Well, he had to use his right hand to draw Morty the dog.
Yeah.
And
it didn't, it didn't come out all that great. It's okay.
A little shaky, but it looks pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah. I don't think I could draw my left hand. I don't think I could draw Morty the dog with my left hand. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and this could be my favorite of the whole book, and it's on the back page.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and the first panel, this is Steve himself. He says, "No one ever tried to stop me from using my left hand, and look how normal I turned out." And if you look at the dog in the rest of the panels, he just doesn't say anything and walks away.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. That's what Morty the dog thinks of Steve Willis.
We love Steve Willis. We love his work. I remember he said that the next issue of Cranium Frenzy would be different, and I thought, well, he's going to deal with a real serious issue. Well, maybe it is sort of a serious issue, but he deals with it with characteristic humor.
Yeah.
Is hilarious. His great cartooning, and it makes interesting too, because it does make you think. As a right-handed person, it does make you think, wow, I never really thought about this. For instance, refrigerators and the handles on the other side, stuff like that.
Now, the toilet, the handle is on the left side, though.
Right. It's because when you stand up.
Yeah, it's on the left side.
I guess. After he said that, when I read that, and he said the toilets always had the handle on the, I got up and I went to the bathroom and I'm looking.
Yeah, sure enough, it's on the left side.
Sure enough, it's on the left side.
Yeah.
But
and here, he always sends Morty comics. This is Morty comics. This is the original. This is number 7,695.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got 7,707.
I go my own way. You know me,
I go my own way.
Yeah. Now, I only got one this time. Sometimes he sends me more than one, but this time I only got one.
Yeah. I got this one here. I got a couple here. How does this all end? And he's standing amongst those
heads.
Those, what do you call those little guys? I forget what they call them. Anyway.
Yeah, I thought they were heads. I don't know.
Little heads. Yeah. This guy's standing there, and how does this all end? So, and just more stuff. And he mentioned this one is number 7,788. And, it looks like a mini comic, but it's just a series of
that one opens up,
looks like a mini comic, and he said that these are not printed, that these are actually drawn, pen and ink.
Right.
And
that's the only one.
So every one is an original.
Yeah.
It says here, right here.
Nobody knows anything.
Nobody knows anything.
I think we've proved that, haven't we?
Yeah. We've proven that time and time again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was we got a lot of books, a lot of great books from you guys, and really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how long we've gone on here, but longer than I thought we would.
A little over an hour maybe, which is
a little over an hour.
Okay. A little over an hour maybe. So that's all right. And make sure you keep an eye out, because I think you're going to like the next episode that we're playing.
Right.
So if everything
and I'm going to get I'm going to get the camera problems and the microphone problems solved before then.
Oh, yeah.
It's all whole new setup, so just give me a few days and I'll get it worked out. But we're excited. We're excited that Matt Feazell is going to be here.
Yeah, we are. And we have somebody else lined up even after that, so stay tuned. So things are beginning to,
things are hot.
Interviews mixed in, and it's beginning to be a lot of fun.
I mean, because originally we were just reviewing comic.
And then we thought, we ought to talk to somebody. And,
just for a change of pace, we'll interview somebody.
Using StreamYard makes it very easy for anybody to get on here with us. You don't have to have their app. All you need is a camera and a mic. So
that's it.
And an invitation. You're not going to get on here without an invitation. But other than that. All right, Steve, we're going to wrap her up. So we'll see everybody next time. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a good day.
Adios.
Adios. Hi, and welcome to Talking Small Press Comics, episode 62 with Steve Keeter and me, Larned Justin. Now, this is a very special episode because our guest is none other than Matt Feazell. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. And we're going to find all about Matt Feazell, if you don't know.
I know this guy.
Yeah.
I know that guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, this isn't going to work with me in the hat because I have the headphone thing going on.
The headphones.
Yeah. You guys look eminently cool. Eminently cool.
We don't
Does that work?
So.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Something. Yeah, I can hear you.
No. Well, I don't know. I'd like to hear Matt. Matt, say something real quick. You sound a little.
Hi, I'm Matt Feazell. I'm a creator
sound okay?
of the Amazing Cynical Man, America's laid-off superhero.
That's right. And we can prove it because I have a lot of old zines and stuff. Matt, well, what can I tell you? You talk about a legend of small press, a true legend of small press. What does that say?
The Amazing Cynical Man.
I know what I wanted to ask you.
40th anniversary reprint of Cynical Man #1.
Number one. Okay. Well, Steve was talking about some things in 1974, and I just wanted to know how old you were in 1974.
16.
16 years old. When I was 16, I had never even dreamed of drawing a comic book.
No, wait. I was 21.
Oh, were you 21?
Yeah. I was class of 73.
Yeah, okay. That's just, all right.
I know that Matt was born in 1955 because I looked it up on Wikipedia. And that's 1 year before I was born. So
I would have been 19 in 74, sorry.
1974.
Yeah. And well, just because I just happened to come across this. This is the Fandom Journal from Kevin Collier, and this one was well, look at this. It's Matt.
There's a picture of me with a string of Cynical Man T-shirts on a clothesline. Somebody told me I should make Cynical Man T-shirts, so I got a can of spray paint and a big.
And that's how you did it?
White T-shirts and a spray painted Cynical Man on T-shirts.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, that's hilarious! That's amazing.
What year was that?
This was one of the Raleigh years, so that was after.
Well, this is dated September 1985. This particular, it's like Kevin Collier's zine. We all know Kevin Collier. He was around before SPCE. He was publishing news and review zines. On the back cover of this, it shows Chicago 1985, which I was not at. That's a couple of years before I first attended. And you see this guy down here, the guy.
Oh, yeah, I see him. Very handsome. Very
handsome, young, profound. You can tell he's profound. He's got his hand on his face like that. And just a picture of some guys at the Chicago Con 1985. Well, that's that. I happened to come across that. I had to show that. I had written. You guys already know. I was normally when we do an interview, I write a few really quick questions. You know, what were your influences? How did you get into small press? What's your latest public? This and that and everything. But when I started writing an outline for this interview, and I just got carried away, and it's like it's like 4 pages because all these memories came rushing back, and Matt inspires that.
I have a notebook with all of my first stick figure comics in there that I did in junior high. And I'm going to switch to the tabletop camera.
All right.
Like so.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
This was, I was reading like newspaper comics. So this was my Charlie Brown, my Snoopy, my Peanuts paperback. Go catch a fly, Matt Feazell. And I did a bunch of 4-panel gags that were kind of like Snoopy or like Charlie Brown gags, right?
Yeah.
I put like an intro and a foreword and then the content, and it ended up after doing the whole page and the whole book full. I put a house ad and a pitch for the other books in the series and a back cover with some blurbs on the back. So it was like.
When do you think that was done, Matt? When did you do that? You know,
this was like '68.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing! I would have never thought of doing anything like that in 1968. I tell you.
So, would you say that Charles Schulz was one of your influences?
Yes,
I would say, yeah.
Oh, look at that. In junior high and high school, me and my friend Ross Reedy. Who actually did the first stick figure comics I ever saw. I started doing them too after seeing his. He's the one that did this character, Adam Man by Ross Reedy.
Adam Man, okay.
And he was funnier than I was. He always had interesting characters, and his craftsmanship was better. Mine were really sloppy. But then I started doing these, and they were just like all on one sheet of paper like that. But they went on page after page. They had letter columns.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh! Well, this looks quite a bit more sophisticated than the little notebook that you were showing us. It looks like you were coming along. You're making really cool logos and stuff.
Progressing, yeah. That's amazing. It's amazing that you kept them all.
It is amazing, and you know, I didn't think this was unusual at the time, and I didn't realize until I got this stuff out for the interview for the YouTube video.
Squirrel Man.
That I did so many of them.
Look at that. Now, did you think you were going to reproduce them, or you just drew?
No, we had no idea that they would ever be reproduced.
Yeah.
We imagined that we would be doing stick figure comics, and they'd be out there on the newsstand along with Spider-Man.
But that's kind of
not 14 and a half.
That's kind of a prophecy, because eventually they were out there on the stands, in the comic shops and everywhere. Eventually your work and your stick figure work was out there. It's amazing how far you've come since those days. But you can see the style already developing, and with those a lot of panels on one page, which is amazing how many panels you can put on one page. And
I wasn't into wasting paper.
But Steve was mentioning in his notes here in '74 that you were doing comics, but they were not stick figures. They were regular figures.
They was doing full figure work back, and I could show you some of that stuff.
Yeah.
I did mention that you was your first small press experience. Your first was with Dynamite, right? Steve Shipley's Dynamite.
Yes.
The first time you were actually published in that crude ditto method. I have a cover by you. This one is for Dynamite number 6.
Let's see that. Yeah.
Dynamite number 6, June of 1974.
That's sweet.
Yeah. The Oracle agents and is that the Green Man?
So if you think that Matt only does stick figures, you're wrong. Look at that.
That was
Very nice.
74. I was a freshman in college by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And after doing all those stick figure comics, I thought, maybe there's something I could do in comic books. And I thought, at the time, comics was Marvel, DC, Carlton, and Archie. Yeah. And we never dreamed of anything else. There was that underground going on over there. There was National Lampoon. That was a big influence.
Yeah.
And, but there was no alternate scene. And until I subscribed to, I saw Mark Avanier plugged the Comics Buyer's Guide in a letter column in Commandy. So I subscribed to Comics Buyer's Guide and started sending off to people that were advertising these fanzines.
Yeah.
Here's a notebook where I recorded my contacts with from Comics Buyer's Guide number 31. I sent off $3 or $1 to Chuck Robinson II for comic number 3.
My mentor.
Issue CBG number 32. There's Steve Keeter. I sent him a quarter for home.
I'm number 1. That's amazing. You ordered one of my comics back in 1973, 74. One of the first things I ever did. I mean, yeah. I am utterly flattered.
That
is awesome.
Thanks I got a letter from Steve Keeter.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
He sent the comic back saying, "Oh, sorry, I couldn't use it. It's too long anyway. But thanks also for the letter of comment."
That's great.
Whether or not I'll use it depends on how long or short the letters page for number 3 is and how much space I have. So he was already working on number 3 then.
Well, I'll be done. And now he's working on
that letter. I'm working on number. Darn, I'm losing track. The 11 will be the next one.
Oh.
And Mantra number 13. But yeah. That's amazing. So there's the cover of Dynamite number 1 in faded purple ditto.
Oh, there.
I can say something.
Ditto, yeah.
Ditto.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what we had that was available to us. Basically, teenage small pressers. We didn't have a lot of funds, and we couldn't afford to offset. Before that, people like Jerry Bales and Marv Wolfman and all these different people in the 60s that published, they did Mimeo, they did Ditto, they did Offset, but we couldn't afford Offset. Although that cover there that you're showing is an Offset. Who did that cover? That was a nice cover. Sirocco, Frank Sirocco, yeah. And this is my cover of Dynamite number 1. Also, it's faded out in those days. It looked okay. In fact, I'm partly responsible because I actually printed this particular issue on my Spirit duplicator. Steve Shipley sent me the Ditto Masters, and I printed it. But I never had much luck with Ditto. It's barely readable.
That copy of Dynamite
that looks fantastic for those days for small press.
Yeah. About the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, after a few disasters, most of us experimented with Ditto in the early days. We had one disaster after another. Pages were bleeding through to the other side. They were fading. You couldn't read them. So we switched to offset. And eventually, as photocopy evolved, we switched to more quality of photocopy. There's the Green Man. is that Keith Tuxhorn, or that's by Stephen Shipley? That's by Steve Shipley.
Yep.
Pencils by Matt Feazell, so it's inked by Steve.
He sent me the art on typing paper. He drew it he sent me the script, and I drew the art on typing paper, and I sent it to him, and he traced it all onto a ditto master.
Yeah. And it still looks good. And that one reproduced very well. Yeah, and that looks like your art. I mean, your art from the full figure art that I remember, the full figure cartoony art. You had a great cartoony style, and I'm sure you still do. But this was the early stuff that I saw. I had here's one.
There's Larry Nybert.
Oh,
yeah. Steve Keeter.
No, Steve Keeter drew that one. I remember that one. There's a character in there who looks like Larry Nybert, though. On the other page there, at the top on the left. Yeah, I drew that one. Right there at the top on the left, there's a guy with the goatee. Looks kind of like Larry Nybert, so I can see why why you said that. We had a blast.
Yours though, Steve? You drew that?
I drew that, yeah. Oh, we had a blast when Steve Shipley came up with Dynamite, and Matt had actually.
That's the Steve Keeter thing.
But this is Dynamite number 9 with it looks like a Larry Blake cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Larry Blake cover.
Yeah.
And this one has look at Matt's style. Look at his cartooning style at that time. This strip is the Green Man again in Girl Crazy. Look at that splash panel. Yeah. I mean,
Robert Crumb influence there.
A little Robert Crumb, a little Will Eisner.
Little Mr. Natural.
Scraps of paper laying in the gutter like that. I was reading the Warren reprints of the spirit sections.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was just beautiful work.
That was a collaboration with my friend Keith Tuxhorn. So we had him write the story.
And you and Keith did a lot of stories together. How did what was he somebody that lived near you and you just got together and started talking?
Yeah, we were roommates in college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he had different tastes in comics than I did. We talked a lot, and he was into DC comics and Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil, and I was into Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and he exposed me to a lot of other comics than Marvel comics.
Were you a Mad Magazine fan?
I read a bunch of Mad magazines when I was a kid, but I didn't collect them.
Oh, okay. I did. Yeah.
Larned is a Mad Magazine fan.
Yeah, that was my thing, Mad Magazine. Yeah.
We even like Bad Magazine, which the reboot.
Yeah.
Dan Burke's Bad Magazine, which is based on Mad Magazine.
Bad Magazine.
Bad Magazine. If you haven't seen it, the first issue it's almost like an issue of Mad Magazine. You swear it was the same. He did it all with AI and plus his own artwork and everything. But that's
Can AI
Mad
tell
Magazine.
Jokes? Can AI tell jokes?
Bad ones.
Yeah, well, they say it's coming along. It's not the same. AI, we did a interview with Dan and also with Tom Fellrath, who's also been experimenting with AI with his comics and stuff. And I mean, the one thing about AI that it can't replicate, you can't, the soul, whatever the inner essence of a human being, it's not the same. It's still a robot. It's still a robot. It doesn't have that soul.
What he also said was you can't do 2 panels the same and make the character look the same in 2 panels. You can do it, but the character will not look the same unless you work on it yourself. And that's what Dan Burke is good at. He can make it look like the first panel after, but AI will not make it look the same. You can't do it. So it's a lot of work, is what it is.
And coincidentally, Dan is the other person who ordered I'm Number One back in 1973 when it first came out. So you two guys, you discovered me. You made me what I am today, and whatever that is.
You're blaming that on them?
Yeah. It's their fault.
But Matt, you kind of progressed because you worked for Disney for a while, didn't you?
That's not small press.
No, it's not. That was a big deal. I remember when you did that.
Yeah.
Was that about a year or longer?
7 years.
Oh my God! I did not know.
2001 to 2007.
Wow.
Wow.
I did not know that.
I didn't know he worked for Disney. This is a surprise.
Oh yeah. It was a kid's book, right? Wasn't it, Matt? It was aimed at kids.
Yeah, it was Disney Adventures magazine. It was a digest.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was for sale up by the checkout lane in the grocery stores.
Yeah.
Next to the Archie digests, and it was edited by comics fans. They were into comics.
Oh, okay.
It originally started out as all comics. It was Disney Adventures. I think Heidi McDonald was the editor of it. But by the time it got around to me, it was the comics was just a section in the back. And there was a lot of illustrations and other comics like sprinkled throughout, and it was a lot of like lifestyle articles for kids and Disney's number one demographic. So there was a section of comics and ads for Disney stuff, and I did a vertical comic that was next to the staff box in the very front. They had a sweepstakes going there. They dropped the sweepstakes, and they hired me to do a stick figure cartoon of the wacky adventures of the Disney Adventures staff between issues.
Was that a stick figure comic, or
it was all stick figures? It was
all stick figures.
The more stick figures and dumb jokes I could pack into that little vertical panel next to the staff box, the better. So I got paid magazine rates for that. It wasn't small press, and I signed the contract that says Disney owns all of it.
Oh my God! Really?
And you can talk about AI and advancements and Neil Adams and things changing over the years in comics, but you went in the other direction. You went back to your beginnings.
Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about that, about how you started doing stick figure comics?
Yeah, because you did them, and then early, like you showed us, and then kind of went to full figure, and then you must have went back to the stick figures at some point.
I was always drawing stick figures. I would, even when I was drawing the non-stick figure comics, the full figure comics, I would write them out on in the sketchbook first, and just use stick figures or just plain simple geometric shapes for the characters, and then I worked up the full figure art on the drawing board.
Okay.
So I was always drawing stick figures, and it came to it. One day I was working in a record store.
DJ's. Was that DJ's record store in Raleigh, North Carolina?
Nope, this was Wuxtree's.
Oh, School Kids. In fact, in Raleigh, it was called School Kids. DJ's was a bookstore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a used record store selling a lot of punk rock.
Okay.
I was listening to Talking Heads, The Clash, the Ramones, the Sex Pistols.
Oh yeah, I love all those guys.
I started a series of comics on the back of a record store handout.
Yeah. And it says not available comics. It already says not available.
I said not available comics because working in the used record store, I noticed the records that were in short supply, we could get more money for. So the most valuable stuff was just the not available stuff, right? So in the 40s, they sold comics, quality comics or world's finest comics. And in the 80s, we just called them not available comics. Wow. Someday all comics will be not available. it was like some punk rock kids from the future came back in time. I don't know. So anyway, I was drawing these in my sketchbook while I was, between customers at the used record store, and I was photocopying them and just going around and putting them on telephone poles and vacant buildings.
Oh my gosh!
In the neighborhood around Wuxtrees. It was like the punk rock concert posters and not available comics stuck up there.
It looks like he did these entirely in ink without any. It looks like he didn't even pencil. You just went directly. Is that correct? Did you just?
I think I did. I had a ballpoint pen. This is really punk.
Yeah.
Totally punk, but it looks really nice. That's a really nice inking style.
Great.
Even these years later.
Not available comics number 3, and so I was spending my time doing that.
Yeah.
And I was getting to the point where I thought, I'm not having any fun doing these. Oh, there's one. 1981 Clado the Barbarian. So I wasn't having any fun doing
the more elaborate stuff. Your comics were getting fairly, from the stuff you showed me here.
Mainstream comics.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
what I need is a punk period. This turned up in my sketchbook. The Amazing Cynical Man. To the rescue. Help, Cynical Man, save us. The fire is too hot. It's no use. It's not my fault. Hey! It was like the Charlie Brown of...
Is that the first Cynical Man?
That is the first Cynical Man in panels.
Oh, okay.
He would show up. Oh, there's another one. This was actually later on an earlier page. Cynical Man saves the kitty. Help! Meow! It's no use. Might as well give up. Yeah.
Well, I know
it's still funny.
When I finished the current not available comics, I started not available comics number 11. And I turned Cynical Man into a street poster.
Oh, okay.
And this is filling out the earlier Cynical Man to the rescue, where there's a bank holdup and he ends up, not getting to the scene of the crime in time, and everybody gets killed. And so he says, "It's been a lousy day."
Lousy day. I hate that when everybody gets killed. Yeah, that ruins the day pretty much.
And he ended up becoming a superhero of sorts, with the Captain America type wings on the helmet.
I got to ask you, when did you start extending the mouth past the round head?
That was Cynical Man number 5.
Okay, that's a trademark.
Walt Rogers sent me a mini comic. Just another 8-page wonder. And he was a printer. He actually printed his own mini comics. And he wrote me a letter on the back of an uncut signature. And that's what clued me into, this is an 8-page book that you could make out of one sheet of paper.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I seem to remember that book. So that was actually distributed in small press, right? And that was printed?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that one, yeah. Definitely remember that giant Godzilla foot. And the arc in the I remember that well. And like I said, through a series of several
comics, number 14 is the first thing.
Wow.
That's cool.
I redrew the first couple chapters of the 8.5 by 11 Cynical Man into the Cynical Man mini comic. And there's Mr. Spot, who later became Mr. Comics.
Mr. Comics.
And the first appearance of Dr. Puente. These all show up before Cynical Man shows up.
What's his name? Queen? Dr.
Puente. Puente.
Yeah, Puente. Great. He's still around, I guess.
That's how we did that. Now, Cynical Man's face went through a little evolution.
Uh-huh.
There you see number 4.
Yeah.
Where it's hitting the edge of his face, but it's staying inside. Yeah. And there it is, hitting the edge of his face.
Yeah, it's close, but it didn't extend past yet.
Right.
This is the story where he's out testing the flying tank.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, he stands underneath it and they drop it on him, and so, well, that worked pretty much 90%. So he spends the rest of this story like all messed up. So I was like making a jaggy face, and the more messed up I drew him, the more messed up he got, the more that line went off the edge of the face.
There it is. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
So I realized I liked it like that. So
I guess you've been doing it.
Standard look.
Yeah, it works. For some reason, it works. You just have. There he is.
It goes right past the head. Yeah.
There he is with Lizard Girl. This is, I guess, the most recent Cynical Man comic right here, or one of the most recent.
Number 16?
Shocking. Yep, number 16. Shocking reboot issue.
Oh, that's a really good one. This man kills Frank Miller.
I have to read back through it. Let me see. He killed Frank Miller in this? What page was that
On the back page.
On the back page.
That's where I wanted to tell a story, a reboot that like retells his origin over and over again.
Oh yeah. Did you ever hear about the time I killed Frank Miller? And Lizard Girl says constantly.
Yes, the panel right above it. Where he's killing him.
And I got this. I was reading through this stuff over the last couple of days. You also mentioned Mr. Comics, and this cracked me up too.
Oh, thanks.
Mr. Comics and the Hey Comics kids. I guess there's a comic shop up there in Hamtramck.
No, in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn. It's in Brooklyn, New York.
By Jason Mojica.
Oh, okay. Oh. And you did this for those guys.
Yep.
And apparently this is a collection of a number of strips that you did, and you put them all in one volume and added color to it. And look how cool this looks in color.
So cool. Color. Yeah.
A couple of things I want to mention there. First of all, your inking style. You're doing stick figures, but your inking style is quite good. You put a dark border around the character.
Yep.
Other people, I guess to express, other people don't have the border, but it's to express that they're smaller or thinner, or like there's a professor in here somewhere, and I noticed he didn't have the dark border around him.
It's a big figure, so it's a big outline.
Yeah.
When they're all a medium shot, then they get like a medium line. It's still like there's a 0.7 and a 0.35 rapidograph. And then a B6 speedball. It's like a B4.
And I was pretty fascinated by this. A lot of it is I mean, you can see reprints, and you go from one story to another. And also the characters, they defy the conventions of comic books. They go from panel to panel and then back to the previous panel, in between the panels. And was this it's sort of an instruction, like it's an instructional comic for other people who are just starting to create their own comics.
It's comics theory for kids.
There we go.
Mr. Comics was that Mr. Spot who got stomped on by Godzilla in Cynical Man #1 back in 1980. He was flattened. He was squished into the second dimension. And so that's where he lives.
And there it is. It alludes to that, and it shows us that.
There it is, yeah.
That's the flashback.
And then the modern comics are in color. The modern stories are in color. The other ones are in black and white.
Wow.
But I cracked up with this
back to a mini comic printed on a Xerox 9500.
But it was so funny.
You also made a movie I wanted to ask you about.
We made a movie.
Huh?
There was a bunch of us that made that movie.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was wondering.
I'll take all the blame. Everybody else.
No, but how did you find an actor thin enough to play the stick figure of Cynical Man? It's Jim Mackey, the guy who has written a bunch of Cynical Man jokes. Okay.
And he's like one of the few talented people I've met that can say, I've got a great idea for something you should draw, and follow it with a great idea. I should really draw. So, and Larned is part of that club too. Larned has written a joke for me that ran one of the Cynical Man newspaper weeklies. He wrote the joke about the I lost my cell phone.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's too bad. No, the joke starts, I found my cell phone. Oh, great. So you can call me now. Well, but I lost my car. It was in my car. I lost my cell phone. Where was it? It was in my car. Great. So now you can call me and ask me for a date. Oh, I lost my car. That's Larned's joke.
By me. That's why I'm probably not doing many jokes.
Larned writes some of the funniest comics out there. Larned he has his own.
Yep.
I'm dropping stuff.
Way to go. Thanks.
His own warped sense of humor. It's on a par with anyone else's warped sense of humor. So Larned was like, what does he mean by that? What does he mean by that?
How long did it take you guys to do that movie? I mean, it looked like
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, I wrote the screenplay. It was a little film.
It looked like
we got together. We made a bunch of shorts and entered them in local film festivals. And we did one feature film called After the Blood Rush. It was about vampires.
Oh yeah.
Next, the producer guy, Aaron Trudgeon, wanted to do a G-rated family picture. And so I said, let's do Cynical Man. Okay, write a screenplay. So I wrote a screenplay about Cynical Man. At his first day at the Board of Superheroes. And there's Zombie and there's Dr. Puente, who's training a army of living dead zombies. And it's fun from one end to the other.
Who played Dr. Puente?
Dr. Puente was Michael Marcus.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Marcus
we know Michael.
Yep. We know. We talked to him quite a bit last year. That's
perfect. I have to go back and check. I was looking on your website, and it's like $5 for the DVD. So I'm going to order it. You know, when I discovered it, didn't have enough time before the interview. Yeah. But I definitely want to see that one. Michael Marcus, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Send you one.
Yeah.
Don't send me money for it. I'll send you one. Just remind me to do that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we would love to have a copy of that, Matt.
Okay. Don't post it on YouTube. Don't post it on YouTube.
I wouldn't do that.
No, we wouldn't do that. No.
Which brings me to my recent discovery, which is my DVD copy based on your VHS copy of the Chicago Comics Convention. Apparently, I had the VHS of the Chicago Comics Convention 1988. The video that you made, the VHS video, and a long time ago I copied it, and I lost track of it, and I just found it recently, and I posted that on my Classic Comics Man channel on YouTube, and also Alan Freeman had a version of that, which is interesting because it's got pictures of all of us. There's
1988.
And there's a T.M. Maple there who passed away a long time ago. This skinny, geeky guy here next to Jim Main, well, that's a Steve Keeter.
That's a big guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a geek. And especially back in those days. And then there's this intellectual looking guy here, looking very bright and with a bright future ahead of him. And that's Matt, looking very much like he does today. He just didn't have on the hat back in those days.
I can't tell the difference. No, I did look at that, and I couldn't recognize anybody. I did recognize you, Matt, but I couldn't.
It's been so long.
But those are the only two. I couldn't figure out who anybody else was.
We were such kids.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
A long time ago.
I was like 30 pounds less than I am now, just fresh-faced and nervous. Well, you know, you remember the convention, the panel that I was on in 1987. Oh my gosh, I just froze up. You know, I was young and nervous, and anyway, I think I've come a long ways. I blame it on this guy here, Larned. Brought me into the modern days of professional broadcasting. Oh, yeah. Where now I'm a seasoned semi-professional.
If anybody's professional, it's us. That's for sure.
Especially, yeah. So this guy's a great influence on me. And so are you. I'm just pointing all over the place here. Wherever you guys are, you know.
Yeah, he's down below. Yeah.
Yeah. But Matt, speaking of Matt, and yeah, you can check those videos out, especially the Matt Feazell version of those videos. There's two versions, two different edits. But Matt's has more there's more stuff in it, including an interview with a local TV station that they did with you in the late 80s, where they were asking about Cynical Man, and the guy says he's actually making money drawing stick figures. And you look out and you have a word balloon that says a big deal. I crack up every time I see that. But you did influence a lot of people. And, you know, a lot of people, it was funny. First of all, you pretty much spearheaded the entire mini comics revolution. I never made mini comics, but I'm a rebel. I'm a rebel against the rebels. But Larned did, and many other people did, and your comics influenced so many other people. Also, the stick figure genre itself, which you brought into the mainstream of small press, if that's not a contradiction. A lot of people began making stick figure comics, but nobody else could do it the way that you do it, with such ingenuity, such style, and you didn't just draw crude things. I mean, there's all the lines are straight, and the inking is great, and the stories are hilarious. So there's a lot of creativity, a lot of cleverness in those stories. So yeah. So did you realize that you were such an influence, or do you realize it now that you influenced so many people and you never expected that?
You know, I thought this was going to be a punk period. I was going to do 4 issues of Cynical Man and then collect them into Not Available King Size Annual #3 and get back to doing Invasion of Earth and Arnie Arnold's Space Cadet and try and be a professional comic book artist or inker, and never put out another issue of Cynical Man ever again. But
that's
these caught on. People liked them, and it was like somebody at the record store came in. I had this sitting on the counter, marked 25 cents. And somebody picked it up and said, "How much for the mini comic?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know, 25 cents. How about a quarter?" And so they gave me a quarter, and I gave them the mini comic, and it was the first time I had ever made money selling my comics.
Yeah.
And I realized I was onto something. I was like, people liked it.
Yeah.
It was funny. People would laugh out loud that I didn't know. Like total strangers were reading my comic, and I would see them laugh at it. And I was enjoying doing it, so I said, "No way, I'm going to keep this up."
Yeah.
If I get a job as a hot Marvel artist or an inker, then I'm going to keep doing my mini comics on the side, because.
Well, you certainly could have. If someone like Fred Hembeck could get a job doing professional comics, you're every bit as good as that, and probably better. I mean, quite honestly, I'm not going to say anything bad about Fred.
Clay Gerdes Comics Wave. This is where everybody. He was a newsletter published by Clay Gerdes. He was a photographer in San Francisco, and would go around taking pictures of events. There's a picture of Jay Kennedy back in the day.
Okay. What about, did you send stuff to Tim Corrigan?
Diana Schultz. So And like anything that you sent him, he would put a plug for it in the newsletter. And so like lots of undergrounders and people doing mini comics would send them their stuff. And here's Comics World number 149. There's a plug for Matt Feazell has a mini comic out. Cynical Man is 15 cents and a stamp from him at Euclid Street, St. Louis. He has 2 other zines, Space Cadet and Invasion of Earth, for 30 cents each. So,
right.
There's
I remember stuff like Ant Boy that she did, which wasn't stick figure, but it was also very, very good back in those days. I can see where, you can see where things were taking off. Everybody was talking about Matt. Everybody was talking about him and the stick figures, and but again, it's not like it's not just stick figures. You do it so well, and you tell such a good story. And you've already said that was one of the points that that you decided you wanted to see how much with all this full figure artwork, you wanted to see how many details you could take out of the panel or out of the story and still tell a good story with the most simplistic artwork. But simplistic
is like some text and a face, just about.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
I like the idea that anybody. This was really punk. The whole spirit of punk rock and the do-it-yourself ethos is like form a band, put out your own records. You don't have to go through a record company. Just do it yourself. So you can do mini comics. People tell me they want to draw, but I can't draw like Neil Adams. And I said, just draw stick figures. We should have 12-year-olds drawing comics and have the comics pros swipe from them, because all you need is a piece of paper and something that can make a mark on it, and you can draw comics. You can draw. If you can only draw stick figures, you can still draw.
That's the beauty of small press. Yeah. That is the beauty of small press.
So I wanted to be like Chuck Berry and invent a genre, a form of comics that anybody could do, and like make a bunch of them and send them out everywhere, and people would pick them up and be inspired to start doing their own comics. And that's what I was trying to do with this stuff.
Yeah.
Both you and Larna was about to mention Tim Corrigan at SPCE.
Yeah.
But you were both doing the same thing. You were telling people you can do your own comics.
Yeah.
And so many people came into small press because of you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And many of them are still here today, and it's just exploded.
I came in because of Tim Corrigan. You know, I saw Tim Corrigan's book referred to, and you remember Fact Sheet 5 at all?
Yeah, that was
Fact Sheet 5 was a listing of, there's Tim's,
SPCE,
Yeah. Small.
Yeah.
This is number 5.
Yeah.
1986.
Yep. Wow. That's a little before
I still have a bunch of those. I still have a lot.
Yeah, I do too. Yep. Amazing.
What a madman.
Yeah.
Tim was incredible because he didn't cut and paste anything. He didn't have a computer. He actually typed all this stuff, did all those reviews. You talk about heart and soul and putting everything you got into something, and because of a love for a certain genre, for a certain media, or just for small press comics in general, and it really made a big impact.
He told me that he drew his comics on a board in his lap while he watched TV. I can't imagine doing that.
I saw him do it.
I know he did it. He told me. That's what he said.
Doug Halverson.
Yeah.
Doug Halverson. Yeah. Fanboy. That's Fanboy. He has a head like the blades of a fan. Doug was at that convention in '87 and '88, and he's in the video too. If anybody wants to check that out again.
Tim Corrigan.
There he is. Yeah. Still miss that guy.
Yeah. He was a great friend and a great friend of a lot of people, of all of us, you know, a great friend. He used to come visit me every winter because it was so cold in Rochester, New York, and he would come down and he would stay in Orlando.
We're all staying with Steve.
Yeah, everybody come on down. And
there's a Small Press Comics explosion. Yeah. And then remember the little one he did on slick paper? He had a little one he did on slick paper.
It was Small Press Comics Explosion and Small Press Creative Explosion, I believe, is another one.
Yeah.
Here's number 12.
But with all that, he drew all kinds of comics at the same time.
Oh, here it is. Number 7.
Looks like it has a color cover from here.
The red one, yeah.
This was a mass market, like it was like distributed comic shops and stuff.
When he came down to visit, I took him around to a few of the comic shops, and he brought copies of SPCE, and he was talking to the owners, and he was saying to get them to display it, and he was saying, well, you might not make a lot of money off of this, but it's not going to cost you. They gave them free copies, in other words, so they couldn't lose. So they put it up on the stands, and I would go by like a week or two later to one of the comic shops, and they were still sitting there. I was like, I hope somebody buys these. But apparently people did. And other people have said they bought them off the stands too. It wasn't a direct market publication. Maybe it was for a little while. But yeah, it was definitely, because a lot of people got in just because they found copies of this, and they didn't order. They weren't expecting it, but there it was. And it opened a whole new world. Yeah, so we're talking about influences and Matt being a great influence. I did have something else I wanted to show off, because Steve Shipley did 9 issues of Dynamite, and I did a little revival for 2 or 3 issues. And, there was another one that came along before that. After Dynamite disappeared, Keith Tuxhorn and Matt Feazell published this.
Yeah.
Fan Thing.
It's virtually Dynamite number 10.
Yeah. We're all out of chronological order, and I totally abandoned the notes we made. We've just been talking, and this is the way it should be, I guess. But Matt published this. He said something about, he missed Dynamite, and he still had stories to tell. And that is the Green Man, one of Matt's characters. Steve Shipley created the character, but Matt completely took it over. Again, there was a faded ditto, and this one's faded a lot, but everybody's getting phone calls. I can hear your phones.
My phone's been going off. Yeah,
mine hasn't. But the last video we did, a guy one of my roommates knocked on the door, and he wanted quarters to do his laundry right in the middle of the video. Oh, okay, here's some money. But this was one of my revival issues. But this has a story. You remember that one? Yeah. That was Dynamite. What was it, number 10 or 11? I think it's number 11. Featured in this landmark issue, The Green Man by Matt Feazell and Keith Tuxhorn. And this was a story that
never would have finished it without you. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Thank you. Thank you for that opportunity. It was an absolute honor. It starts out. I'm not going to show you the whole story, obviously, but it starts out. The early pages of it has Matt. Look at it. Look at the full figure. And Matt's doing his own inks here.
Can't hear you, Steve.
Well, that's the microphone problem with this. But Matt is doing his own inks on this here. Can you hear this one okay?
Yeah.
So that's Matt's artwork. And on the next page...
Where's the panel with the tractor running into the combine? I mean, the semi-truck running into the combine.
Semi-truck running into the combine.
I think it was facing that page you were holding up.
Who's got the dog barking?
You got me.
Oh, wait. Oh, I don't have it here.
Was that a page that you inked?
I think I left it unfinished.
Because he didn't finish it.
Okay, edit that out.
Maybe we'll get back to it. But I took over the inks at one point,
Wow.
Matt didn't finish inking it like I inked this panel. And I didn't want to. Matt is so good. I did not want to disappoint him, so I took my time. I remember I used different markers, and I finished inking this unfinished story. And like I say, it was a great honor. And I guess that was the last Green Man story. But here's a combine. I see a combine here. Okay, combine is on this page.
Oh, the farmers they're coming up Main Street with a combine. And then, oh no, here comes a semi-truck crashing right into it.
And you didn't finish the next one? Huh.
I think, Matt inked part of that. I think Matt inked part of that page, and I inked the bottom part. I inked the actual combine part at the bottom. But I remember inking Matt that there was so many fine lines, there were so many details. Matt really pulled out the stops on this story. And of all the Green Man stories that I've seen, and not because I was involved, but just because it was a great story, I think Matt's art was at a peak at this time, his full figure art. So there you go, the end.
Well, I was going to ask you, Matt, what do you got coming up? Anything exciting coming up?
After that, I said, I'm going back to stick figures.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to get this the back of a record store handout and start drawing punk rock comics.
Yeah. Now I'm saying, have you got anything coming up you want to talk about? Anything new that you're working on?
I'm working on a book of stick figure storytelling.
Okay.
Starts out as a cynical man story at the board of superheroes and goes from there.
Oh, okay.
Word man says, this issue we're going to be breaking the fourth wall. Fourth wall? What's that? And we just take off. So it's more comics theory, and it's laid out to be 28 pages. And
28.
I hope
that'd be nice.
Special.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Digest size or what?
It'll be, I'm imagining it bigger than a mini comic. It'll be mini comic proportions, but maybe kids book size.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good. Something to look forward to.
Since seeing Mr. Comics in print, I'm really bit by the color bug. I think I might really
Yeah, that'd be nice.
This one is great. I mean, I would suggest. Can you hear me? Okay, is the mic working?
Yep.
But this one is really outstanding. This is really one of the best things I've seen from Matt. I think ever. The color really adds something, but the story is hilarious and it's so inventive. I would highly recommend this to anyone. Larned, if you should place the ordering info down below the video. This one.
Yeah.
That'll be available at www.cynicalman.com.
Oh, and that is a very cool web page, I have to say. That is really a neat web page.
That cover.
What program did you use to do the web page?
Adobe Dreamweaver.
Dreamweaver?
Dreamweaver.
Oh, I don't think I ever heard of that. Oh, Adobe Dreamweaver. I got you. Okay, I got you. Anyway, you should look at his webpage because it's very cool.
Right.
Well, we are getting to the hour point. We usually try to keep it to an hour.
Oh, no, I haven't started with the script yet. Wait a minute. I got to read all this. I got 4 pages.
But we got to thank you, Matt, for coming on. We really appreciate it.
I'm going to show off Ant Boy.
Okay, do that.
There you go.
Ant Boy, two comics.
Oil paintings on the cover.
Oh,
my only oil paintings in print.
Okay.
Are those reprints or is that the original Ant Boy?
This is the original.
Yeah.
Like they ran in Captain Confederacy.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. And
yeah, I remember.
There were collections of backup features, like little 8-page stories.
And those are available on the webpage? You can get those from the webpage?
Yes, it's adults only.
Oh, okay. Good thing you said that. We need
I was
we need to know that.
not thinking diamond distribution standards when I was drawing it.
I'd have to go look at. I can't remember what was in those that would be adults only. Now I have to go back and try to find my copy.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any little kids here. I can get those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I was saying, we really appreciate you coming on, Matt. Really enjoyed it. And looking forward to your new work, of course. And I will have his contact information in the description below, so you guys can get some Matt Feazell stick figures.
Thanks for having me on your show, Talking Small Press Comics.
Thanks for coming on, Matt. We really appreciate it.
We really appreciate it. And we will see everybody in the next episode. Take it easy.
Good night.
Adios.